It's going to take a minute for people to pop in. They're probably, because usually what happens is, you know, a couple people will file in and then somebody sends the link. If you have your phone, or are you using your phone or the laptop?
This is the laptop. Yeah.
So if you have your phone, you can go onto YouTube and see this and then copy the link. I think. I haven't figured out how to do this yet. All right, so we got somebody's here. Who's here? Who we got? We're looking for somebody to get a share. Me, the dude who doesn't know how to work any of this yet, that's hosting all these things, doesn't know how to get it to send.
So there's you live right there. One watching. Okay.
What's up, Big Red? We had a little technical difficulty. I don't know what happened, but literally I was on the phone with Matt and I was like, all right, in like 10 minutes, I'm going to send you this link and we're going to be good. Pop Gold Frenzy in the house. I'll probably have to start over a few times. Catastrophic. My Wi-Fi booted me and my phone was like not getting any signal. I couldn't even send Matt a text to tell him that it was happening. I had to restart my phone. I had to disconnect.
Here, man. I have that effect on. Like mine, like my Chrome browser decided, hey, it's time for an update. Like right as I was looking for your thing too. So.
Oh, nice. Right. Well, that's like more or less what happened. And then
so they can kind of be here for the test. So I'm kind of like gonna have to move around for this since this thing's so dang big. Like, are you able to? You're not moving right now. Is it sounding?
No, okay? It's perfect. Sounds perfect.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Absolutely. All right, so we got a couple here. Maybe we'll just everybody. I hope that everybody get to see the video. I had just put it out. I was trying to get it out as early as I could today, but good Lord, it never ends with the busyness. But yeah, we got it out, and earlier today when I was telling Matt, I was like, hey, I got this really great idea. So I was like, originally I was going to use that new level song for the reveal, not that preview this morning. And I was like, yeah, this is great. You know, bringing everything to a new level. We can definitely use that. And then as I was working and thinking about it all, my YouTube was just playing different songs. And the song that I used was on an album that one of the songs popped up. And I was like, oh shit, wait a minute. The first track on that song has got that singing. And honestly, I had something like that in my head. But then I like looked at one point for like stuff that was like that, and it was all too operatic, like it didn't fit. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's right, this fucking thing exists. And so I'm kind of happy. I hope you like it as much as I do.
No, I did, but I got to tell you. So my son, like, we have some property. We're on about like 38 acres. So we tool around on a golf cart, and my son loves to do that with me. But I give him my phone, and when he cranks up the volume, and like. He's like the radio guy, right? So he plays up the music.
Sweet.
I always forget to turn that volume back down. So you send
right.
And I'm sitting in this tiny room and I crank that thing on and like you gave me a freaking heart attack, but it was awesome.
Nice. Good. Yeah. So my daughters, I was down here taking like I did the Crimson shot. That was last night. All the other stuff I had set up and shot right before I put it together. So I started down here. And that song like played because I had to export it from YouTube and then I put it into the video. And my one daughter heard it, but it was like echoing a little bit down here, and she thought it was coming from outside. And she was like, "Daddy, what the hell is it?" I was like, "Oh no!" I immediately knew what she was talking about. I was like, "Oh, this has got to be. She's got to be scared shitless." Nice. All right. Well, we can slowly get started here. It's a happy Atlas Day to those that observe. We are finally here. I couldn't be more proud to have kind of rolled out the carpet so everybody could take a look at this magnificent beast. That's why I call it that all the time, because that's what it is. I think like the slogan too is also like it's not big for the sake of being big. It's big and detailed. It's got a lot that goes on there. And there's a lot that like I'm going to try to funnel all these thoughts over the course of the week, right? Like I originally like the shot the reveal video, I had so much shit going on, and I was like, what do you need to do? Nobody's gonna watch a 20-minute video. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, I can do this like this, and then it will be better for everybody. But yes, so I humbly present to you all the Atlas, and also Matt from Mo's Mind Creations. He has been very kind enough to join us here and just kind of go over what she does, what happens, what it do, as they say. And yeah, I think it's just I kind of thought like a little bit like originally too, squeezing in the reveal video, because you see at one point there I just lift the front up, you know what I mean, to kind of get a good look at that and how that action happens. Because if you just take a picture of it with it open, you're like, well, what the fuck happened? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Yeah, that's the thing. You know, you could Right. You could take the back off and know what happened. You're like, oh, cool. The canopy comes off, but that front, there's nothing. It's unique in that way where, you would definitely be like, wait, what is that? Did you pull so that way people got to see it real quick and it was good. So, yeah, man, the 12 out of 10, no notes. I absolutely love it. Like I've said 1,000 times. It's hard to know where to start. You know,
right. And we just pick a corner and go down through it. I'm just excited that it's like I can finally put it out, because I mean it's been done, right? Like it's been done,
right,
and it's just been sitting here. But yeah, I got to get all the other like back end pieces in place so you guys aren't like waiting for a real long time if you decide to buy one. But yeah, it'll be sometime very, very soon this week. I know I keep saying soon, but like. I already got the listing written up. I just got to hit the button,
Perfect. Nice. I mean, I feel like everybody, this is one of the great many things of all the people that are going to be most likely, the majority of the people that have come, we're all in this group that we got. And so, I think everybody understands good shit takes the time it takes. I mean, if there's anybody who understands that, it's me, because I deal with telling people all the time, like, it's going to take 3 weeks. Yeah, man, you fucking, what do you want me to do? I can't,
stepping back from just this thing here, just, finding this community on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, like, sales have improved, right? Like on the business side of this. And with that backlog improved, and no one's complained about it, but I'm complaining about it because I want it to go out faster.
Right. And I think that always kind of translates to, it's again, just to kind of make it relatable in a sense that, like, I have customers where, yeah, I mean, I kind of made that sound. I've fortunately never really had to deal with stuff like that. People are generally, I think it shows when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, everybody's understanding of not everything goes exactly, you know what I mean? Or whatever. But like, so yeah, it's, I think everybody's pretty understanding that to get, I mean, look at that. There's so many pieces into just that, and then you have all the, yeah, it's big. And that's just the one thing. And then you have a catalog of stuff. So, and people are, hopefully, if they're grabbing a bunch. So I can only imagine what that's like to kind of try to juggle that. But as far as I know, everything works out well. And when, as soon as you're ready, yeah, just hit that button and we will bark it all over the place. So I don't know. Yeah, we kind of got the list of stuff. I think maybe I'll just talk about a couple things that stuck out to me before we kind of bullet point it real quick. It's perfect for pictures, right? Now, I never actually asked you this, but I feel like there had to have been a heavy consideration of toy photography in it, right? For sure. And so I can tell because of, after using it and being like, oh, this is perfect. Like, look at how this fits over here. When I put the guy in the corner, look at how it does, especially like in the back. But you managed to do it without sacrificing the overall, like what you would want it to look like, right? It wasn't like you had to make choices where all of a sudden it doesn't look like it doesn't look realistic or it looks bloated on this one particular side or something. You managed to juggle the two where it looks as awesome as it could possibly look, but yet somehow, you got the toy photography. So I think that's all design.
My brain works on that when I'm designing these things, right?
Right.
There's what I want it to be, and then there's what I want it to do. And the two has to get squeezed into what I want it to be. If that makes sense.
Right.
So
yeah, no.
You're talking about like it being like photogenic, right? To take pictures of it. Like that's yes, that crosses my mind, but like the photograph doesn't have to be an actual camera. It could just be you're going to have this sitting somewhere and you're going to look at it, right? That's your camera. Like I want you, no matter where you are in the room, my, I guess, goal there is I want you to be able to find something nice to look at on it. And so there's a lot of time when I'm doing these that I'm just rotating this thing around in front of me and where do I need to fix things, right? And I kind of brought this up before with you, but in all my designs, like the nagging kind of, I guess, requirement there in the back of my head is like this, especially with these 1/12 scale things, they're large, they take up your space. This has to earn its space. Right. That's my duty to you guys that are buying this is you have this has to earn its place on your shelf. Right.
I love that.
So I'm hoping it does that. I'm pretty proud of this one. I think it did. But if you look at all my designs, I think that's improved in each one of them. Sorry, my hand's flying there in front of the thing.
No worries. No worries.
Yeah, good.
No, I can attest, and and what goes along, I think too, like earning. I love that. I love that attitude that you know what it is for the customer to invest, and so you want to keep that in mind. Where it's like I want to earn that spot on your shelf, but also we've got you want quality too, right? It's you want stuff that not just is not just looks good, but you want it to actually be a functionality, right? Because I've seen a lot of things like people that have gotten and downloaded stuff to do like a whale, right? And I'll be like, oh wow, look at that, and they're like, oh, don't touch it, and I'll be like, what do you mean? And they're like, oh no, if you touch it, it's gonna fall apart. And I'll be like, what are you talking about?
I want you to be able to handle it, right? So part of it is, I was talking about my son earlier. Like he's 9, almost 10. He gets all my prototypes, right? Like he's not the roughest kid on stuff, but like they survive him. So
that's perfect. Well, also famously, I've told the story anytime I get to shoehorn it in. So I will say it again. That's not a joke. When I say I got the first 2 things that I got from Matt were the GI Joe, the green outpost, and then the blue and gray bar that you were so easy to just switch those colors. That was perfect. It was just, hey, can you do this? You were like, yes, and that was it. But I dropped the bar down my stairs, right? So my studio is down in the basement, and it's 13, 2 by 10. That's what the stairs are. It's not. I mean, it's not like it's not like I was walking and I dropped it. I'm talking about it must have went once, twice, and then the third time that it hit was on the concrete slab. And then the only thing, do I have that right here? Is it all the way over there? It's all the way over there. There was the tiniest little corner that broke off a little bit. And then I think there was maybe a crack in the gun, but it didn't break off. And I could see that it must have hit just right to like stress one of the parts, where one of the hand grips are, but it didn't break. It stressed it a little. I mean, I'm talking bow. And literally it was, now, first of all, I fell, like I slipped, my feet slipped out. So I was like, holy shit, in my advanced age, I don't want to be falling like that. So, but when I heard it hit the first time, it literally shook the fear of God in me, because I was like, that's it. It's going to be in a million pieces the next time it hits. And it didn't fucking happen. So it's like I don't know what else I could do on purpose that would be worse than that, but throw it down the fucking stairs. So yeah, man.
I'm sure they've got ideas. I've seen some things, but
I think we texted about this once. We were talking about mailman. I am blessed. Not only do I have one guy, but the other guy that fills in when he's not there, they're both unreal. I've tipped them heavily because there's a lot of shit that comes and goes, and yeah, so I'm blessed. Now, with that being said, I lived in downtown Albany once when I was a younger person, and I lost mad shit because I lived in it wasn't that it was a bad part of town. It was just like there was a lot of foot traffic, and I wound up losing so much shit because the guy wouldn't just open the screen door and put it in. That was it. Like the screen door would lock. I was like, all you got to do is close the fucking thing. And nope, he couldn't handle it. But yeah. So thankfully, I've been blessed with them good mailman. But that is, that is a true testament, right? So it survives your son. It survives me literally throwing it down the stairs. And because that's surviving it, right? The little corner that breaks off, you're like, oh my god, okay. So what? It's a 99.99% success. You lost that tiny little bit of plastic. So that took what, like, I remember what it was like when I first opened the box. So the thing, I think it was the bar was on top. Was it 2 boxes?
You got
It
2
must
boxes.
have,
Yeah, I sent
okay.
you the way that
Right.
somebody would get it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Right. So it was 2 boxes. So I remember I opened them both to look in there, and I remember looking at the green on the top of the outpost, and I was like, "Oh my god, that green is nice." And then I closed that, and then the bar was, just because of how it, is easier to take out as opposed to, like, having to unbox the whole outpost. I was like, "Oh, let me just grab this bar," and I lifted it up, and I was like, "Oh man!" And it was so cool. I just kind of like kicked the box out of the way, set the thing down, and I immediately, right at my dining room table, was fucking with it. And as I put it up on top of the other box, which was the outpost, and then I went right down the stairs, and then that's what happened. But yeah, I remember what it was like when I opened the box and first looked at it, and I was like, holy shit, yeah, this is as good as it is. So, and better. So, like, what I found is, um, a lot of stuff that I get, like, there's been like, I see your stuff and I think it's going to be great, but then when I got it, it was like, oh my god, it's so much better than I thought it was going to be. It's like there's been a couple like classified figures where I'm just like, oh yeah, I know this is going to be awesome. I love this. Look at it. I've seen the picture, and then when you get it in hand, it's a completely different story. Very similar to the guy who does the art, that the GI Joe characters. I had. Dude, you've heard me on the podcast talk about it 1,000 times. Yeah, that's again something else, like true artistry. You know what I mean? And that's another thing too. Not to just continuously, go on, but I'm always so impressed because I can't fuck with a computer. Right? You saw what just happened. My Wi-Fi disconnected from my phone, and I was like, oh my god, what am I doing? So I'm always so impressed when it's something like this. So, like, my extent of even messing with any kind of printing was, just I had gotten that resin printer. CG Horror got me, was like, this is the one you want, get this, get that. He walked me, I was just setting it up. He, literally spoon fed me the whole time. And I printed out a few just different stuff and whatever. And even one time I had to, the thing that I bought was too big for the build plate or whatever. And so I had to shrink it a little bit. And let me tell you, when it successfully printed out after, first of all, I thought just getting the little supports on the bottom of it and having that work, I felt like I was, some kind of, the newest awesome guy in computers, by just doing that. So yeah, I'm always so impressed when you come up with a design, because it's like how many pieces is that? Right? I mean, I try to think about it.
Give you on this one right here. This is my longest print. I don't know that I'm going to go any bigger than this guy here, but he's about 125 hours.
Hey, wow, yeah, right. Holy shit!
Now that gets a lot better when you split it up between multiple printers, but
sure, but it's 100. That's nonetheless. That is wow. I was interested. I didn't even think of that question until just now, where I was like, wow, you know what? How many pieces is that? That's pretty insane. Well, that's
if
awesome.
I can remember to do it, I always wanted to do it with the Shadowhawk too. But the next time I do one for somebody, I'm going to lay out all the pieces and take a picture of it before I assemble it.
Yes, absolutely.
Cause right now, what I do to kind of make sure orders are filling is, like, as the pieces come out, I assemble what I can assemble.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to take the time and lay one out just because I think it'd be a cool picture.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a perfect idea. One other thing that kind of jumps out too that I'm always so impressed with is the choices. Right? You figure, like, because it's a blank slate. Like, the Atlas doesn't look like anything else, right? I mean, you can make, okay, it's got a bed. It's like a truck-ish, right? Because it's got a bed. I mean, you could kind of whatever, like. But to me, it's you start designing that. There's nothing. It's just there's an empty piece of paper there, and you literally are just like this and that, and like how many. Like the decision, the decision fatigue from trying to come up with a million different little things.
So I guess a little background here. Like, I'm a classically trained artist. Like, I went to art school and
nice.
learned art. Then I was an art teacher, because who the hell makes any money with a degree in art, right? But so I was an art teacher for a while. That kind of scratched the itch, and then gives you like the ability to do your own thing because it supports you financially, right?
Right.
As far as like learning how to 3D model and 3D print, The Raptor was the first thing I did. Actually, I got one over
Oh,
there.
nice.
It is the first one.
Okay.
So, it took me about 4 months to kind of like get it all. Let me see if I can get that in the screen here. So this guy right here, like that was the first thing I did.
Wow.
This
That's so awesome. That is so cool.
And so just try to gradually get better as you go, right? But it's not like I was just starting from scratch. In that whole design world, like you learn how to design, the tool just changes, right? So I've got plenty of experience doing it. So while I appreciate the compliment, it's not as amazing to me, I guess.
Okay, no, I 100%. No, for sure. I feel like I've had that. I've said that exact thing to somebody not that long ago, where I did a quick kind of surface remodel in their bathroom, and the guy was just like, I would never have been able to have figured that out. And I was like, wow, that's just, I took the toilet out, I replaced
You've
that little
already
part
been
over
there.
there.
You've already made the mistakes, and you've already learned the lessons, right? Yeah.
100, right.
So
Like you
every
said,
one of these
make it
models
look
that
easy.
comes out, like I said, the Raptor took me like 4 months to get right. It's getting quicker and quicker and quicker, right? Now doing something this big adds a different challenge, right? But
Sure.
proud of it. And, but the how do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. Same thing.
Yeah. 100%. Right. You just, it's like anything. I have to go a lot of tasks. I can have multiple tasks, and you can be like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Like, look at all this shit. And you just start doing one, right? Pick one thing, start doing it. And then it just comes from there.
And we'll talk about that too when we start going through all the details on this. I could go even further on this. This could be a 300-hour print, but at some point you just say that's enough.
Right. And
Tom talked about that there in the chat there. Yeah, he's like biggest critic on stuff I'm doing. Yeah, totally understand that, big. And they go, I'm not ignoring you. You got a lot of good questions going on there, but we'll get to kind of a Q&A, I think, at the end here, and I can get all that.
For sure. I just want to shout out. Looks like Roblox here. They have jumped in. Big Red's been here. Pop Cult Frenzy. I saw there was somebody else, right? Did I see this weekend? Hearthstone. There they are. Yep, that's that they. There you are. Nice. All right. Well, I listen. Yeah. So I totally get like what you're saying. Where because I'm just so clueless with the computer. So when I think of that, it just seems and there's a ton of pieces that say go into redoing a bathroom as well. So I just try to think of like doing this at night. Like I said, I've had people say this very similar things where they're in the house and they're just like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. And yeah, we've already been through it for sure. Let's see here. All right. Well, we can kind of maybe start going through it a little bit.
Start actually touching it, right?
Right. For sure. Well, here's the thing. I'll just talk forever. So we don't stop at some point and get into something. I'll just keep going.
No, you're fine. So I guess let's talk conception on this. Like, what's the point of it?
Sure.
I think you notice in my designs, I'm not doing like a 1-for-1 already existing G.I. Joe vehicle. There are other people out there, and this is like no attack on that, right? Like there are other people out there that do like a really good job with that. Like I know, like just off the top of my head, like Derek Hicks, like he's the guy that did the like classified scale flag.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yep.
He's doing like some 1-to-1, like really well done prints, right? And,
for sure.
I don't have any of them, but they look like they're really well printed.
Okay, the name definitely rings a bell. I'm pretty sure I've seen it on like one of the Facebook groups or somebody.
He does a lot on the Facebook ones. I've noticed he's on there. And like when I first kind of got into this, I'm a little late to classified. Like I didn't know it was a thing until like my kid came up to me in Target, and like it was actually like the retro the retro card Destro, and he was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "I don't know, but I need to find out what this is."
Right. Yeah, that's a super cool moment. Moment.
But when I started getting into them, there were no vehicles, right? And I was like, well, G.I. Joe needs vehicles. So I got online and started looking around and Pixis Designs. I didn't know who he was at the time, but he was like talking in a forum. He was like, here's this roll. He did like a Rolling Thunder one, right? And it was huge and it was very expensive. And
yeah.
On the chat there were like, that's really expensive. I'd rather you not pay that much for it. And he's like, well, you go try to figure out how to do it. I said, well, okay, I will. And then I figured out why he was charging what he was charging. But
right.
So anyway, one of my favorite large
Oh, wait, just real
oh,
quick for the record. I
yeah.
immediately figured it out when I tried to print something too and just saw cleaning it and doing it. That's with zero design. That's me just printing an STL file and going to, I went, oh, immediately by the second one, I was like, oh, I understand now. I understand
Yeah,
exactly. Some
yeah.
shit I was even like, they could charge more because when just that little bit of experience. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. I just, yeah,
Right.
for sure. I get it.
So there's a guy that messages me a lot on Etsy. He never buys anything, but he always asks me like, "Hey, can you do this or could you do this?" And it's really good questions, so I don't mind like talking to him about
Sure.
it.
Nice.
He was like, "Hey, can you make a mobile command center right for me?" Like, and I
Hmm.
was like, "That would be the size of a dresser, right? That'd be
Right.
like someone purchasing like a new piece of furniture for their house, but now I
Right.
want to do it, right?" So
Right.
that's kind of, and I enjoyed that toy. Like I had that one. That was like the big one I had.
Yeah,
I
that
love
it
how
was
it opened
awesome.
up like a
My cousin
fishing
had it.
tackle box, right? And had all this stuff you could
Right.
do in it.
Yes. Yes. My
Um,
cousin had it. It was awesome.
so that's where kind of this is. This is my mobile command center, like because you can switch out the back. I don't have to make it the size of a dresser. Um, but if I put a trailer on this thing, we're getting into that territory, right?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
the modularity's there. Multiple of these would equal one of those for me, right? So all my stuff is kind of inspired by a GI Joe vehicle or something else. Like so, the
Sure.
Raptor there
Sure.
was the Skyhawk and the Orca from Command and Conquer. Like if they had a baby,
Oh
they
yeah. 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 Right. 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 Right.
right.
Nice. That's good.
They go in there like you really probably could keep your clothes in a classified size.
Right, yeah, I know. Well, I mean, it's all I for sure. So before I built any dios or anything for this stuff, I had gotten maybe I don't know 25 figures or so, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna do. I had this idea, and the very first time I built something, I went, oh my god, all these other ideas I have would be fucking enormous. So like the big jungle thing that I did, which took me, I had to break out the concrete chipper which was a nightmare. But yeah, I had these ideas in my head because my only experience with building like a play set was when I was a kid and the figures were this fucking tall. And
Right.
then now that it's scaled, I was like, oh my god, dude, that fucking Python Patrol entrance to Cobra Island is going to be, it's going to be as tall as I am. It's going to be ridiculous, but it's going to be the permanent home for a bunch of figures. So anyway, but yeah. You know, once you get into it, you're like, dude, this shit is huge.
All right, I'm gonna move some of these guys out of the way because this thing's just been sitting still the whole time.
All right.
Get in here, start working with it. So you want to just go like top to bottom, front to back?
Yeah. So, well, I mean, the first thing that kind of sticks out, I think, when you see it is the big, awesome cannon on the top, right? Like, I
Right.
know there's a lot of other GTLs, but that thing, the way that it kind of comes up there. So I love all the choices on that, right? Like you could have did a lot of different stuff. And like if you didn't see it in the video that I posted, I had the Vulcan cannon. There's an adapter where the Vulcan cannon, the twin Vulcan cannon from the bar that Matt makes can go right on the front, and it looked really cool. I had the blue infantry trooper, so the gray and the black. It looked really awesome. But that cannon, it's got it's got the camera on there. Like I feel like the length is perfect, you know. And what is the size of that cannon again? That is is that a 30 millimeter probably?
So yeah, so I took the 50 cal barrel and I just like cranked up the scaling because I was like, this thing needs to shoot like this needs to be like belt fed artillery is what I'm thinking.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
does it actually exist? No, but
No. But that's
I
not
love it.
that don't
But
matter.
and I'm trying to make sure that's not too in the shadow. But yeah, you can see it here. So yeah, so we'll start
No,
with
no.
this here. So I'm calling this thing the arc, right? And
Okay.
so the automated repeated
Oh,
cannon.
there's Jesus. Sorry, Jesus. Yep.
And I kind of like it. So you guys I'm gonna show you guys some extra stuff that's still prototype stuff. So it's not exactly finished, but kind of where the mind is. So if you like this but you don't want to do the whole thing here, it is going to be a bar accessory.
Ooh.
Kind of got one up here on this. It's modified out.
Oh, okay.
Up a little bit, but and this is just all
Hell yeah.
prototype, but we'll get the same colors in it. But I feel like it would fit in the bar as well.
So I love that. I love that. It makes the all of a sudden that whole bar, right? It goes from like a manned post to like a wall that's guarding our back with an automated, kind of cannon there. That's awesome. That's so I read that on the sheet that you gave me, bar accessory coming soon. And for some reason I assumed you meant the thing that's already on the bar was going to come with like a little bigger or something on the Atlas. Okay. That's super cool, dude. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Yeah, so all the choices on that I think are cool. It's like the perfect length, stick, when it sticks out as well. And even, because it's automated, when you take pictures of somebody coming out of the hatch, it looks really, really awesome. Like I'll probably wind up saying the word scales 1,000 times, right? It scales so well with the figure next to it, which as does so many things in there, which plays to the absolute part of the photography. Yeah. So there's that hatch. So again, the choices. The hatch is perfect. It's got, again, you got to stop somewhere with detail. So you've got just enough detail on the inside of the hatch. There is the handle is almost like a perfect size. So I did take a few shots the other night that I just kind of put actually a couple figures in that same the beachhead pose that I had. I did a couple figures that were in and out of there, and it all works really well. The way when you hold it, when the figure's arm is extended just in the right position, the top, the hinge part, the top of the hatch is like right away, right? So it's not like the figure's like this and the hatch is way over here. You get it. It's like winds up being, because the beachhead was holding it. He had that gun right here, and then almost every other figure that I put in there, it was like right in that wheelhouse. So that was the first thing I noticed where I was like, oh, look at how well that's designed. The fucking guy is right there, the whole way it sits. So yeah. That was one of the first things that jumped out. I absolutely love it. The second thing that obviously what goes on in the back, right, definitely will draw your attention, especially when the back is off. But I think when the lid is on, it also looks cool because it makes you go, what's going on in there? You know what I mean? You want to know what's in there. It's like, holy shit, that thing is huge. What do they have in there? But the other thing too was the lights in the front, right? You have it. It's hold on. I'm gonna use mine for a reference. So it is right. The blue, the blue in the front there. Yep, perfect. I love that the shade. It just connotes like what could be a riot light of some sort. You know what I mean? As well as just like a basic. Just your basic average you would want to illuminate what's in front of you. I love the shape, the size, but really the color, right, is perfect. I feel like whenever there is like an organic way to slip a color that kind of pops from the rest of it, you know what I mean? Right. But make it look right? So you've got the black and green color scheme there, and so the blue wouldn't go unless, of course, but they're lights and they're supposed to look that way. Right. So bang, you organically get to utilize something like that just catches your eye. Now, again, I'm sure, we all experience everything differently, right? So when I'm saying, hey, this is what was for me, I'm sure everybody can find and enjoy even way more than I said. One of the first things that I had said when we were talking about this, when I sent you the text. So I had the Atlas for maybe a week when I sent you this text message where I was saying, I was like, the Atlas reminds me of a super well written movie that was also acted really well. Meaning like when you have a movie like that where it's like a crazy drama and they have like all these they jump around different time frames and stuff, but they do it in a way that makes it really good. And there's so many layers to it that the second time you watch it, the third time you watch it, the fourth time you watch it, oh my God, I'm watching this again for the fifth time. And I didn't notice that the first time. Like that's what the Atlas was for me. I had it and I was down here as much as I could look, even if I just only had 10 minutes, I'd come and just look at it. I would kind of turn it a little bit and stare at it like that. And then kind of like how you were saying you were looking to, what can I do to make this different? I'm looking at like, how low do I want to go to get that right shot? How far to the front, how far to the side? And it was just like, and every time I would do that, I would be like, holy shit, look at how that looks like this, like, especially in the front, since you have it like that. the open window, and then how that's where the way that's positioned with what is supposed to be the cameras, the camera portion. Um, I think they look so awesome together. And then even knowing what's what's on the other side of that and how that corresponds to the way that those two seats are. We'll get to that in a minute. But just to say, like, you know what I mean? How that all works. That was like what day 4 or something like that I go, oh shit, look at how right, and look at that looks so cool like that. And then when you close it and you can look through the open part and you see the two heads, but if you go back just right, you can still see the outside where the camera is and inside and see the two heads. And that's when my mind just really started exploding. I was like, holy shit, this is so cool. Thanos in the house, what's up, brother?
Yeah, so this one, it was kind of the first time I did it this way, but it was almost designed from the inside out versus fitting a cockpit in. Like, I had an idea of how I wanted them to sit inside, and then everything kind of went after that. And then just another theme to it is I wanted this to be as asymmetric as possible, but still be cohesive, right? Because I remember that from like the mobile command center is like,
right.
It was such an odd shaped vehicle, right? Like,
yeah, well,
it reminded me of that thing. Like, and forgive me, guys. Like, I know of Star Wars, but I'm not. Star Wars.
No, you beat me to it. You beat me to it. I swear to God. I was just say it's the sand dune people shit, right? Yeah. So yes, it looks. I'm sorry, it looks exactly like that. when it's full, when it's all stacked together, it looks exactly like that for sure. But it did also and I'm sure that's not a coincidence, right? Because at that time, Star Wars I think was still pretty big. I think the line at some point people just stopped with it all together, because I think Return of the Jedi came out and whatever. Anyway, but yeah. No, that's hilarious. But yeah. So the mobile command center, you were you designed this from the inside out with the inside of the mobile command center in mind.
Yeah. So how those guys. So I was thinking, okay, we got a driver. This thing's going to be huge. He needs to be able to see around. There's going to be cameras on it, but I don't want the gunner in his way. So how can I fix that? Let's recline the gunner. So we'll get into that. We'll get what the inside looks like. In fact, you know what? Let me just pop it open.
Yeah, there we go. Yep, let's get it.
But remind me to come back with the gun when we get back out of this. But let's get this guy.
Yeah, Big Red's got it. The sand crawler from the Jawas. Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, the battle wagon from '91. Nice. Oh, there you go. That's a good shout. There it is. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's so awesome.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. So the gunner's reclining so that.
Yep.
See if I can make this go shorter. So if we get kind of sideways here, you can kind of see if this was still pulled up, the driver would still be able to see out. And that's a little thing, but that's what I like to do. That's
right.
If this was real, how would he? Because you can't do that on everything, right? But if this was real, how real could I make it?
Right. Yep.
Then let's just go ahead and pop these open so you can kind of see.
There you go.
Inside.
So yeah, I love the first. Because I didn't know that's what the inside looked like, right? I didn't see. But did I see the inside? I don't. For some reason, I feel like
opened up, but I didn't give you any explanation of it.
Right. For some reason, I think the angle. I didn't realize that the seat had reclined. It looked like maybe the seat was more. Anyway, that's just from the picture. So when I got it and I opened it up, it was a very pleasant surprise that I was like, holy shit, look at how awesome that is. And I see what you're saying. So the driver is able to kind of see either kind of all the way around, and the gunner. I mean, and it's almost like one of those things too. If you look at I'm never going to be able to pull an example, but if you're inside something like that and you are looking at screens, it would almost be that 45-degree angle almost. So now you can look at stuff that's above you and kind of in front of you and giving you more of a space to be able to look at different things.
You are picking up what I'm putting down. That's awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Something that also comes with it, it's going to be this guy right here. And the color's going to be different.
Very good.
Because this is just
such a good idea.
But I was thinking, I could go through and I could put the detail on the screens. One, it may not be what you want on there, and two, it's going to drive the cost up. So
Of
we've got this
course,
guy right
of
here,
course.
and this is a stencil just to make it easier. So if you want to cut stuff out, you just lay this on it rather than trying to maneuver inside of that and possibly
Yep,
like
yep,
messing something up.
yep.
But it's got the two. There's two screens for the driver over there. There's a whole bunch of screens for the gunner, and then this one down here is the screen that goes on the back, in the bed there. So yeah, I had that. Hope I had that there. Yeah, you see that.
Good. That's and now is that now? Forgive me because I've only been in this world of toys for 9 months. So maybe is that your idea with the template to do
Um,
to?
I don't know that I've seen it somewhere else. I'm sure someone else has done that, but
I mean,
I
that's what
know
I
that
say.
generally like people have like options printed out for you to put in there, but I don't know what you
Right,
want to put in this thing. And I don't
right,
think these things
right,
have to stick to GI Joe. Like Conrad was kind of talking about that the other night, and I was just like jumping up and down my chair. I was like, yeah, he gets it, right? Like I
right,
designed
right.
these for GI Joe, but this could easily be any
Anything.
other 6-inch figure, right?
Anything, right? Anything 112 would works
Yeah.
with it, especially when you get like the green and black is a pretty universal color that could be so many different things. The black and gray that I have is obviously could be literally fucking anything. But personally, I like it for. I think you already saw. I've got like a couple of those night. They were all the Night Force guys. I call that the Strike Team Fangbuster. But I'm gonna do. I think I might be short. I don't think I have Shooter, but I think I have all the other Night Force characters. So I'm gonna do, or not. I don't have the HasLab ones. What is it? Record and the other guy. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do one of the ones that I really want to do is another dark Night Force shoot. Yeah. And amongst a million other things. Don't even get me started on all that.
And like just
But
real
yeah,
quick
so
here,
yep.
like
Go
Marvel
ahead.
Legends stuff with a Valorous figure, like Wolverine's causing all kinds of mayhem, right? Like it's
Boom. Boom.
easy,
Perfect.
right? And
That's it. Yeah, man, and it all looks just right. It's not, it's not it doesn't look forced. You know what I mean? This looks like it could be some kind of crazy crossover movie. So, hell yeah. Yeah, I think that's awesome.
and
Crazy good.
I'm gonna come back to this guy here real quick too, just to show you something. So this comes off, and I would recommend you take
Yep,
it off
there we
and not
go.
do like I did, where I was just popping it open. Especially for this next part. Anytime you want to open it up, you'll get a adapter, right? It's
Nice.
simply just a
There it
hockey
is.
puck with a hole in it, right? And you can
Oop.
unscrew the detail that's on the bottom of this and put it on there if you want it more complete, but you don't have to. It sits in there just fine.
It sits very nice.
And so any of these guys from like Gridiron will fit in there.
Dang. Looks so awesome too. it's a it's a great conjunction too.
I
Yeah,
know
absolutely.
I guess they're my competition, but like they don't know who the
Well,
hell I am, and I
I
just really
mean,
like their stuff, right? So it's always going to
so
fit their stuff.
I feel like right, yeah, they are because of they do make like the vehicles and that. But the thing is that looks good, right? And if
Yeah.
somebody wants to buy the Atlas so they can stick their gridiron thing on there, but by all means, please buy the Atlas,
And like you can
stick the
probably
gridiron
tell,
thing
but
on there.
like the bar and stuff, all those peg holes are the same peg hole, right? So
Yep,
the bar
yep.
accessories will fit on this. I know you got a picture of it. I've sold all mine. I don't have any here to put on
And
there.
I have the gridiron, the gridiron kind of there's they have a bunch of different versions, whereas the shield, and then they have like three different guns that come with the shield that are green, and then they have the black one. Right. Yep. That's the one right there. That's the one that I had on the back. I had it on the back, and then I had it on the front too, and it looked super sick. I didn't have time to take the adapter part, so I have two equalizers. I have a blue one and a black and a hiss one, and I took it off, but I don't have that other part to put the
Well, the
whatchamacallit on.
vehicle adapter, yeah, that is the one
Yeah,
part.
right.
I didn't think about that because these guys, they have like their own kind of proprietary like click-in
Yeah,
thing there,
right. Yep.
which sometimes I want to try it, see if I can
Yeah.
match it, but it's easier just to get the vehicle adapter and you can put the peg.
And that's the thing. I'm gonna just go because they're cheap. They're not even that expensive. I'm gonna order from them just like 3 or 4 of them, and then that way any kind of combination of stuff that I want to do I can do. And then you also have which are really perfect. So on the two guns back, the ones that are in the bed, you have the adapters that go on there, which allows you to put gridiron stuff as well. Now, but those, don't sleep on the M249s that he has on there right now. They're super cool, scaled very, very well for the figure. Almost all the shots that I did of that, I have somebody messing with it, right? I think, and it stands. So it's the same one that's on the Merc, right? And the one thing that is, again, scaling just right is how when the figure is standing with it, it's right where you want it to be. And how, again, on the Merc, where if you're standing, it's perfect for the figure standing. If you take one of the extensions out, it's perfect for a figure kneeling. And if you take the other one out, they're almost practically laying down, and it all works. Like, to me, that, again, that was like, what the hell is going on? How do you get that to fit so well on all three levels? So yeah.
A lot of testing. A lot of testing. So the Merc one is like the commando version. It's got like the real like basic stock, that was like supposed to be like weight cutting. And then I did like the full stock on
right.
Yep. Be a little bit different, so you're not getting the same gun,
Yeah.
Yep. Right?
Okay. Yep.
And then also kind of depending on what colors you get, I try to like do a color of the magazine to kind of, because yours is a darker gray than these greens right here.
Okay, nice. Okay, wow, that's some real attention to detail right there. That's that's what separates them from the boys.
He's talking about right here, so it just slides on the top, and
yep, there it is.
Because like when I pose my figures, like I get them kind of like down in it, right? So I need it lower, but some people
right.
If you take the shield off the gridiron ones, they fit and they swivel just like the ones I printed. Oops, there it goes. They'll swivel, no problem, clear everything, and you can put the top on. But yeah, if you want to put the shield on it, or you got taller figures, you want to stand them up. Let me put him back on. You put this on there now, if I can get a hold of it. So now that shield will clear that rail.
Yep, there it is. Yep, and that's yep, and it's perfect too. Fits just right.
And again, this is something I didn't send you because I wanted to see if you figured it out. But the bench is folding up like this. These are the ammo crates that come with the gridiron ones, right? So they have a hole in the top of them that these fit in, and you can hook this on those benches when they're folded up. If I can get it while I'm sitting here, and you can do one there.
Oh, wow. What the heck? How awesome is that?
Back here, if I can get my hook in there. And so you could do a whole line of them. You can and throw it on. You can do it on the outside.
That is incredible. Wow.
And so they'll hook there, so you can have a guy on the back doing his thing if you wanted.
And you just all the way around. Wow. That is fantastic.
You got long arm figures too. You can put them on this right here. But
oh wow.
Yeah.
Man, that is, I hope, everybody can appreciate what level. I mean, again, to me, it is crazy deep thinking. Like that's a lot of planning to make everything kind of, line up in the end and still have all this modular ability, right? I mean, that's what I think the modular ability is not only what makes it just a great product, but that I think is what super lends itself to the photography aspect, right? So you can kind of move things in a way where, like, if you build a diorama, you're now married to that diorama, right? You now, once that's made, you're kind of moving the piece to make it fit. Now, obviously, if you have the shot in mind, how I kind of know how I want the vehicle or the people to stand, and then I'll kind of build the diorama around it. But if you build that diorama and it doesn't look right, you've got to now move the thing. So being able to adjust something like that, or even at one point be like, oh, you know what, this just isn't working. I'm going to flip the Atlas facing the other way. I'm going to take the gun and flip it over to the other side and move it more to the back, and boom, now look at where we are and how cool that is. So, man, that is awesome. It's, again, the gift that keeps on giving. When in a world where you figure it's like one of those things where you're getting the more surprise bang for your buck, right? So here you are, you have this thing that's awesome, and you use it, you're playing with it, and then as you go down the road, you feel like when you find something, I mean, everybody's watching, so you're going to know the most of it. But once you have it in hand, and when you start looking at it in certain ways, you'd be like, you'll really feel that investment where you're like, oh, I didn't just get this thing, set it up, take a picture, and it's been on the shelf, literally collecting dust for the last 2 years. It's something where as you go down the road, you can take it out. And it's when you have that kind of ability, especially across different toy lines to do it, you now have something that is, why would you need to buy 5 different kinds of this vehicle where, you just get a handful of your kinds of stuff where between a base of this, because you can do the bar and the outpost without any GI Joe or Cobra logo on there. You could have a bunch of like androgynous stuff that literally, especially if you got multi lines of toys, and you have a bunch of matte stuff where you can just put any figures in and out of there, and that's, you have all these dial pieces all set up. I think that's really, really awesome. And especially that just brings the value, through the roof. So that's really, really sweet. I love it.
I know this stuff isn't inexpensive, but I want you to feel like you're getting your money's worth when you get it. And I think Dagon was talking about on here too, he was asking about anything under 25. Like, I'm aiming for it. It's hard to get there, but I'm aiming for it. But I'm trying to have at least something you can afford and get. There's all kinds of price ranges on my shop, all sizes of stuff, right?
Nice. Yes. Yeah. And for value, I have always said that the outpost, like, there's nothing out there. Like, you're spending $80 on that, and it's fucking awesome because you can do so much on the roof. What's happening on the inside. There's so much detail on all the panels. Like, where else are you going to spend that money and get that? You can even take the top off and stand it next to it, like over here or up on top of something else. And now you have an elevated thing with just a regular guarded walled it's that all of that stuff is so worth its weight. You know what I mean? 100%. The value is totally there.
I'm going to get value there. So I was going to show you one more thing here too. So again, multiple, if you don't know already, the back of this can be removed, and I'm going to have other things you can put on it. But in the meantime, I want it, since this is the one that's coming launch time, right? Like, as versatile as possible. You can put the benches down, and you can take dock stretcher. You need to flip it upside down though, because otherwise it's going to fall in on itself. But you can do like a makeshift medic. It'll carry them across it like that. And you could have 2 or 3 of them in there.
Yes. I was just telling you I bought that second dock.
I was wondering if he's going to figure that one out, because you were telling me how you wanted to have the shot you're setting up for that, and I was like, we'll see if he figures it, but I'm just going to put it in there.
Nice. Hell yeah. Now I'm like crazy excited. And then, that's going to be awesome.
I've had this in the whole shot since I'm in there. This doesn't come with it, but like, just anybody that wants to do that. I know there's like, Gridiron's one of them, but there's companies that like sell this stuff. Don't do that. Just buy a sniper veil off of Amazon and cut it up. It's like $9 and you get like
right.
out of it, right? And steal your wife's hair ties, and you're good.
So if you buy a big thing of it, it's just a quick suggestion. So not only that is an incredibly awesome use for that, but you can also take almost anything and make it like a tent or teepee style something and throw some of that over the top of it. Right. And or even if you just throw it over, a couple pieces, a couple barrels or something, it's really, really awesome. It's like
depth to it. And that's just, I don't know, my PSA for the day. Right. But if I can get it
nice
shot,
I love that.
This is what it looks like. And go for the cheap one, because then the pattern's not on both sides. Right. So you get like the pattern on one side.
So a different something that looks different.
Like plain,
Well, it's different enough to where you can use it again. Yeah, that's sweet. So I'm actually link to the netting sniper. And what'd you say it was? The sniper?
Just type in sniper veil in Amazon, and
sniper veil
will be like 20 different camouflage patterns so you can pick from.
Fuck. Wow. What do you know off the top of your head? What like the smallest amount of it you can buy? Like, what is the?
Well, is it meant for you to like wear on your head? So it's just one size, but they're like $9.
Oh, okay.
So like,
okay. So if you've got an Atlas and you like the way that looks, spending an extra $9 to have not only it rolled up on the side, but then you probably have enough if you cut it right that could kind of cover the top of it.
This is not like this is what's left after cutting that out. Get this back on here. I don't know if I can get it all on screen, but like, let me put it behind it. Like, can you see what I'm doing there? Like how wide that is?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like almost like 3 feet.
Okay. Wow. All right. So it's a lot. That's I'm probably going to wind up ordering 1 or 2 of those because that's yeah. Oh my God. Even just for use on some other stuff. Like I feel like the that goes well with the colors like on the outpost that I have. So some sandbags right up next to the side of the outpost, and then having any of the kind of stuff that gets set up behind there, you just drape some of that over it. Kind of like so in the video I did for the Merc in the outpost, I had the gridiron drones that were covered in that. That's just that shipping shit that I sprayed with green paint. Yeah. It looked awesome though. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, this is crazy. But that's an upgrade to that. So yeah. We all appreciate that reference there. I'm going to try to when I share this stream to YouTube, to Twitter, I'll try to put a link in the comments or on the thing, or something like that.
Like literally just Google sniper veil in Amazon. Google it.
Right, for sure. I feel like I wasn't so concerned with people getting it as much as in my head I was like, I hear people talk about putting links up. Tell them you're going to put a link up. Gotcha. Nice, very good. So while we're looking in the back there, that it's I would never be able to pick a favorite part, but I feel like there's so much to be done with the back, with the top on, with the top off. The shots that I was getting, and again, I'm just getting started with these, but like the shots that I kept getting from out, down, looking up into it, right? From not necessarily ground level, but if a figure were standing, at the foot of it back there and looking up into the bed of it, that shot is pretty fucking awesome. The detail on the whole back wall. I mean, forget the fact that there's a whole really awesome looking bulkhead door. Just the detail all the way around there. The seats that fold up and down, and like the way that the seats lock into place is a very perfectly fine-tuned bit of tension, right? Where they click up there, they come down. It doesn't feel loose, or it doesn't feel like it's. When I'm doing it, I don't feel like it's going to wear out, right? I don't feel like, like I'm breaking something, or that it's just going to get loose. They're like, well, I feel like it's quality build on that. All of it, obviously, but that moving part in particular, it's like, wow, that's really nice. But yeah, so the treads and the tracks that kind of go up on the back, the tailgate, so to speak, and then as it comes up, puts like the perfect amount of detail. I like how it kind of sticks out a little bit from it, where as opposed to, well, I just want to take mine out because I don't have my glasses on, so there's like a detail. So I like, yeah.
Yours is actually more of a production example. This is still kind of yours has more detail back here than mine does, because this was
okay. Oh yeah, you know what? As I'm looking at it a little bit, I could definitely see that. But yeah, so I like how they're raised and not flush, right? It's just up a little bit, which gives this like really sweet whole, like, yes, you put tracks of something on here and it's going to help you get up. I had so much fun trying to find what I could stick in the back of that. I sent Matt a text and I was like, yo, did you know the Merc fits in the back of this fucking thing? That was crazy. Now it sticks out.
Because I've already made like adjustments for that thing.
Dude, right. So you did mention in order to have the tailgate stand up, I believe you were saying something about that, maybe something that goes into the hitch.
Mine does a thing that yours doesn't do right out of the box, but you can make it do this. You just take some screws out, but I'm going to take this off.
Okay.
It's screwed on, so you can unscrew that if you want to be able to just take this off to make it work better.
Okay, yeah.
A hitch adapter here that lines up with the hitch on the vamp. So anything that the vamp can pull, this can pull. It'll look a lot smaller, but it can pull it. and that just plugs in there, right?
Right.
So this is working prototype. It'll be a lot cooler looking coming out to
For
you
sure.
guys.
For sure. Yep.
We'll just get this guy in here. I'll put him back in.
That's
So
right.
now
Big redhead, mobile med unit.
And we've got support on this.
Man, that's so awesome.
And then I'm just going to move this out of the way. Now this is tight, but
Hell yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, buddy.
You can carry longer things if you want.
Nice. Dude, that is so awesome. Oh my God.
But I mean, you brought it up and I was like, well, now I got to make it work. So
Right. Well, I was literally, so right where I podcast from, I have a table that I set up in the middle of the room just so I can have this as a backdrop, even though it's a disaster back there right now. So I just had the Atlas on this table in the middle and was just spinning my head around like, what's going to look good in here. So yeah, that is awesome, dude. I love that. And that just obviously opens the door for not just the Merc looking awesome in there, or now you want to get the Merc. I'm sure there is going to be more too, right? Like you're not just going to make the tailgate. I'm sure you're going to have something else that's going to make that look really awesome. So
there's for that back end there.
For sure.
So let's talk about this too, because I could see people getting kind of confused by this when they get this. Move that out of the way. So the cover that goes on, and I'll show this again, like on the YouTube video that I release when I release these things. But to get this guy on, the best way to do it is to start from the back and kind of rock it forward, right?
Yeah.
It gets through like a lot of the stuff that's gets you hung up. So that's on there. That's meant to be pretty tight. And then this right here can flip up, and that's closed up. Right?
So awesome.
We got that there.
It's so awesome.
So let me take this off before I forget and I break something on it. But what I wanted to show you, because I know people will be like, am I missing something on this? There's some future proofing I kind of did on this for some upgrade ideas I have. And again, to take this off, what I suggest you do is put your hand inside of it and just lift straight up, because otherwise you can put a lot of tension on this. Again, I build it as strong as I can, but
right.
If you can. So this guy,
100%.
We'll talk more about what's on the inside of that later. But these holes right here look like there would be a peg, and there's a hole right here. It looks like there would be a peg. If I put those on for this as tight as that just was, you're going to break something because somebody's going to forget that peg's in there. So there's not supposed to be a peg there. So if you guys see that, there's a hole for it. There's a hole for it. Now, when I do the different backs, I'm also going to do some different tops for this, so like not a full thing. But I want to have almost like a docking station for the one you're not using, so that it becomes also a playset. So right. Back wall here and some kind of flat piece here that this would sit down into. And when I get to that part right there, you'll see the parts that interact. It's really simple, like peg. But it'll let that sit down somewhere. So nice. Yeah. The probably the thing that's going to come first is I want to do like a open frame cover for this, so you can still have all the stuff going on inside, but maybe you have like storage on top for like barrels and luggage and whatever, right?
Nice, yeah.
But the dock will come with something that'll peg into this.
Oh,
so
right.
Sort of like a carport kind of bunker.
Yeah. Perfect. So just that modular ability.
What I'm like trying to do is I don't want large pieces just sitting around like in a bin.
Right.
To do with it.
Right. Yes. And again, that's what drives that value through the roof, where it's so you have it on, you have it off, or you have it as the the extra piece. Now, just like you said, you now have you could set up some. Here's our mobile base, basically. If you're swinging that canopy off to the side, that's a really great idea. It just brings it makes it so it's a whole third option. You have on, off, or to the side. I mean, that's bringing it up. That's adding 50% more option down there. That's great.
And these like little things, these come out, right?
And jerry cans, those are awesome.
But I mean, you would need large ones for something
like
this.
And they fit. They're perfect. Like I put it through a couple different you'll see the shots that'll be out to little later this week. You'll see where I have figures, taking them in, taking them out, and they look perfect. When you can tell when something looks slightly off scale in the 112 hand, right? Like
Right.
I think there's the room for error is sort of there depending on how you're taking a photo, right? Like if you get something there, you're like, oh, this doesn't look like I thought it did, but maybe if I turn it this way, it's fine. You can kind of make stuff, but something like that, where that is a definitive size that what it looks like in real life, right? It's like the tires that you have on there. There's no reference in real life to those size, so you stand anything next to it and it just looks right. But to a certain, obviously because you made the width proportionate to itself, and then it just looks fine next to the figure. But like a jerry can, that's got to be what it is. It's got to look exactly how it would look standing in the thing. And I think they look great. It's perfect.
Same with like the wheels. Even the wheels too, because my wheels look different than your wheels, don't they?
I think so. You know what, dude? I can't. I don't have my glasses on. There's a little bit of detail that I know the people at home can see it, but my old man eyes are a little tight. They definitely look different. It's
not making my noises when I touch that. I'm sorry if it is. All right.
No, you're good.
Right here, there's going to be another option when you go to the listing. You can pick it. These are the RC adapters. So these are RC car wheels.
Yes. God, it looks so good with the black.
There we go. I'm gonna get one out. So this is the 3D printed one, right? And they're the same size. This is still kind of not. Hold on, let me adjust this so you can see what I'm talking about. All right. And if you just want it to go, like get it in the box and it's ready to go, like there's nothing wrong with these.
And those are really nice. I even in that video I did earlier, I had a close up of the tire because it looks so cool. They're awesome.
I'm glad you like it because this is what it started with. This is what I did first.
Nice. Oh, I love that. Good. That's nice.
Funny story here. Like the tires on like the Hummer that have this like weird kind of thing right here. The design choice in that is it's supposed to look like an AR-15 bolt, and that's the extractor. And I
no shit.
Really cool. Like to know.
So my buddy had an H2 for a long time, and I feel like there was some version of that on there for sure. That's awesome. Very cool. Very cool.
So, and when I get these, when you go to the listing on this, the way it's going to be is you can get it for one price where it has the 3D printed wheels. For whatever reason, when you're printing a circle like this, especially with detail on the side like that, these take forever, and there's 6 of them. And then I also got to do like the wheel on the inside.
Right.
The clip and what makes it spin and all that would be the same either way. But if you are planning on doing the RC wheels anyways, there's going to be an option where I just don't do this.
No wheels. No wheels.
The adapter.
Right.
And so you can take the money that you'd be saving, and because those wheels aren't cheap either, and you're going to have to buy 2 sets because there's 6 of them, and that sucks.
Right.
I will find a use for those other 2. Okay. So just like if you end up buying, you can either go in with a buddy, and split 2 packs, or like I'll find a use for those other 2 in the later updates.
Well, you could always put the other 2 like in the back of the Atlas, and it would, you
can strap one up on the top right there, right?
Oh, fuck yeah! There you go. There you go.
The cage one, you could put them up on top of the cage, right? But
perfect. Actually, that would look really awesome up on the canopy part anywhere. That would really be sweet.
But anyway, so I'm trying to save you money where I can on it because I know it's expensive. So if you're not ever going to use these, why pay for them? And then there will be a third option for those guys who are like the completionists, right? So you can have both if you want.
Nice, very good. That's such a great idea. I love that.
What I'll do is if you order it, I'll send you the link to the tires and the rims that I got off of Amazon. But I got another set here. Same tire, but different rim, and they seem to be pretty. I know just enough about RC to be dangerous. I just wanted the tires to work right, so it does seem like it's a pretty universal sizing.
I think when you had brought this up on, I think it was either on the stream or in one of the posts, and I believe a lot of people who are maybe very familiar with that world definitely had commented that there was some sort of universe. There was like
1/10 scale RC rock crawler tire. And
right.
So like like I said, so I got like these, which aren't very cheap, but they're not the most expensive ones. And then I got these that are like plastic that if
Right.
you were like actually using an RC, I don't know how long that would last, but like for this, it's just going to sit on your shelf. And I almost kind of like the way these look better. If you could paint them and do whatever and customize them, but you'd probably spend the same amount with the printed tires versus just doing the RC ones if you wanted to do that. So I'm trying to, I do my best to cut you a break where I can, right?
No, I think that's one of the many ways that you work with the customer too, right? Like I think one of the coolest things is the super easy way that you can with any of your pieces, you first of all, right off the bat, you offer like it was the 4 options, right? It's like the Joe, the Destro, the Cobra, and the Night Force, which are all awesome. And like that Destro with the red looks great, but it's pretty much you're just like, I can do anything. You just got to let me know what it is so I can get the right color for you and make it, which I think that, because, again, when you're making the investment, you want it to look how you want it to look. And you're very, very easy to work with. Like, just for instance, so the very first thing again was I had got the outpost and the bar from Matt, and his for whatever reason when I was looking at the bar, I was like, oh, I wonder if he could reverse the colorways and make the what's gray blue and what's blue gray. And he was like, oh yeah, no problem. And I think you did one panel, then sent me a picture and was like, this is what you want, which was great.
If you want the custom stuff, the only thing it's going to cost you is maybe a little bit more time. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to I had one guy, he wanted like a Hydra logo, right?
Right,
so
right.
I was like, okay, it's going to take me a minute because that's a lot of legs. But so I did that and sent that to him and he liked it. But like I'm saying, it just takes maybe an extra day before it gets in the printer, right?
And I think that for obvious reasons, you send out the piece to make sure that like, hey, because if somebody's maybe making a purchase like this for the first time and they're looking online and they're like, oh, you know what, and especially if they're asking for a color that they can't see in any of the photos, you want to be like, hey, just so you know for sure, that this is before I print out this whole thing, that this is what it is. So that's a really good idea.
And so I have I opened up a lot of my larger items to like international sale as long as they're willing to pay the shipping. And so I had a guy from Germany buy a good bit because that's what they do is they buy like a lot at one time to make the shipping.
The shipping, right? Just make it worth it, right?
And I'm like, that's still a real long way to go. And he like picks some really out there colors.
High. Okay.
Like he wanted a Raptor like an orange and gold and all this stuff. And I was like,
that is out there.
But let's make sure you really like it first. So I think we probably hit you back and forth messages like, this is the orange I have. What's the orange you want? Right. So, right. I don't mind doing that. In fact, I kind of like it when people do the custom ones because, about the 50th bar I send out that's black and green, it's kind of nice to see something different.
Right.
Just on my end.
Definitely. No, for sure. Well, because you're a super creative person and that repetitive same thing doesn't work. Now, I fancy myself a little bit creative too, and I definitely, can get bored. That's why I always kind of like doing what I did where I would go from different job to different job. I was never showing up at the same building every day, and which isn't bad. In my advanced age, it's a little more what I'm looking for nowadays. I don't need the excitement of moving around all the time. But to your point though, yeah, definitely for sure. It's I could see how. So like so I have the where I build the dials, my workshop. I'm gonna do one of my live streams from out there so everybody can kind of see it. So I did a lot of woodworking out of there, and I got tons of requests for like cutting boards because they're nice gifts for people. They're like, oh, just make me the nice smaller size or coasters or whatever, and that's fine because you know what, they're not hard to make. But at the same time, I was like, can I just make you whatever I want? You know what I mean? Like just give me. Right. Give me an idea of what you want, and then I'll just do it, and then I think you'll like it. And that's those were always if I had a choice to make, well, actually I would like to do this for a living, to be honest with you. Between taking the pictures and doing the podcast, this is what I'd like to get paid for. But if I had to do something else, I definitely wouldn't mind just being in the shop, especially since it's right behind the house. And, I can get stuff done at my convenience and everything. I would like to do that. Actually, I mean, that's kind of how everything started. Was I was planning on doing that so I could have but the kids were here and I could make best out of that. But then it was, I started putting videos up on Instagram, and then people were like, "Oh, I want you to come build that like in my house," and it just everything kind of snowballed. And now I make most of my money off of like commercial plumbing and stuff like that, repairs and shit like that or whatever.
There's stuff to pay the bills, and then there's stuff that feeds the soul, right? So.
And there's the stuff that pays for the GI Joes. It's
third one.
Yeah. Right. Choices get made on what I can do there. But no, I actually might have an opportunity coming up. I think this week I'm speaking to somebody about something. I may be making a move to working, doing something rather lucrative and interesting for somebody, for a company. But we'll see what happens. More on that later. But yeah. Oh no, thank you. I'm excited for that. So.
Well, we're still talking about the bed back here. I don't want to forget about this. So
yep.
I think you know who made this thing, right?
Yes.
I designed for it, and I printed it out. I love it.
It's our boy Chris. Yes, I got a ton of them.
He also, this isn't one of his, but he makes one that's better. But on his site, he's got the pallets. Those.
Yes. Yep.
And then oil cans, right?
Awesome.
Down in here, I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna try to get.
God, that looks so good.
Sorry if I am. I don't know if you can see that down there. Like, let me get this out of the way. You see these guys? Little tie downs?
Yep. Oh, yes. Yeah, I definitely saw those. Absolutely saw those.
That I use to hold all this together, but I went ahead and put a hole through it.
Perfect.
I don't know that I would go ahead and put a hook straight on this, but if you took like a black rubber band and then hook on it, you could tie down cargo and make some really cool pictures.
So I do love that you put that cargo crate back there, because now I didn't put any of that stuff in the promo video today because that is just a different company, right? I wanted your shit to be GI Joe, Hasbro, and your stuff only. But your guys' stuff does go very well together. Couple mission crates behind.
I have made sizing. Chris don't know who I am, but before I was even on here or even talking to any of you guys on Twitter, like I don't remember which one. Oh, it was the Shadowhawk. I had that thing sitting inside of it, and I was like throwing him a shout out there on the YouTube video for it. And guys, don't go watch my YouTube videos; they're really boring. I'm working on that. It's there because I like it. And if I'm not wrong, I think he's a Carolina boy too. So
yes, I believe so. Yes,
water I think going on, but I really like his stuff.
I do too. It's that's yes, absolutely. He's the first time I saw it, it was very addicting. But like so that video, the jungle scene that I did, and then I had a bunch of the it was like an afterthought, but I made up a whole shot, basically putting a lot of his GI Joe, the green colored stuff next to the outpost, and it's like, dude, holy shit, like this looks so fucking awesome together. So it's a good union for sure, but definitely
there's been no official collaboration, but like I said, like I've made size decisions on things just so I can make sure that thing fits in there.
Well, you know what? He's always in the he's been in the chat on the lives. I know you guys have both been in there. And dude, I would be lying if I hadn't had in the back of my head there being some sort of unofficial or some kind of collaboration there. Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Because there's just the union is there. It's very good. But so that's great, and that does look very good back there. As much as the green and black would look good, that all black one actually looks very good too. I think that looks great. That looks great in there. And then the barrels.
The reason I bought the STL to crank these out is like I stash like just people like the random junk that I don't want to lose.
Right. Awesome. Perfect. Yeah, like so I bought a Snake Eyes one just to put a bunch of weapons in, other people's weapons in, because it just fits so well and looks so great. Yeah, but that's nice. So you got it right in there, right up against one of the coolest damn parts, and that's the door, the bulkhead style door that goes from the bed into the cockpit. Dude, that it looks so awesome when you open. I can't wait. I was saying it earlier. I cannot wait to get a shot of a figure coming out of there. I've got a couple ideas who I want, but I'll probably wind up shooting a handful before I decide which one I'm going to post. But yeah, oh my God, that's so awesome. Like the size of it, the design on the, not just the outside, but when you open it, it's equally cool on the goddamn inside. and the shots that you can get. I had, so like if there was one, and this is going to be, it's going to be a little tricky to do because I have to have the lighting just right. But so in the cab, I'm looking, shooting from the outside through the open window of the front, catching the two figureheads plus somebody peeking in through the door. And I just fucked with it enough to know that I can get it done. I just have to take the time to like, get the lighting right and get everything. So, dude, there's so many different parts of it that all work so well together like that for the pictures. But just even besides the pictures, it alone being like the cool factor, like something, a door, any kind of moving part like that is always going to be awesome. But like, something that kind of goes into the cockpit when you have the canopy on there and you shoot into the back of the bed with that door like open and somebody it's standing there, or just having it as part of the moving pieces of like a video or a shoot. It's really, really awesome. And it's not something that you see, and there's other, I guess all these little micro decisions, and I mean, maybe that's not a micro, that's a little more of a macro one, but they just all fit so well together. And and so that door is, not only literally like in the center of the piece itself, it really, well, literally pulls everything together, because now you have like, when you got the bed of that on, you now have what is in essence like a command center where, you got that door open, and then you could have a bunch of people in the back, because they've got, there's that guy showing them out, like that you could get a laptop from that guy Dice Man, or like they even have on Amazon. They have these little laptops, and so if you saw in that shot for the reveal that I did today, I had a Televiper just sitting there typing until he was holding like that little laptop and typing into it, and you can get all kinds of stuff going on like that. So there is also something else I might put a link out to, is what I used. If you're wondering what I used to light the inside, the back of that for the pictures and stuff, Amazon has these little tiny miniature lights that run on batteries. So you'll get 20 of these lights with a whole extra set of batteries for each light. So it's 20 batteries. 20 lights, 40 batteries, and they're these little tiny metal ones. You just twist and they turn up. Yeah, bro, that's it. I think that's the exact one. Yeah, so awesome. That's it.
I'm going to show you the thing that I've already showed you, the thing that you brought that up. Again, this is prototype. It's coming. It'll be an option if you want it. But on the thing that goes on the inside of the Canon here,
right.
I made a spot for one of those, so you can get different colors.
Boom. How awesome.
Going. I got to remember which way it turns. There we go. So that'll light up, right? So now you can put that in there, and we should be able to see. I was hoping to pick up more on the thing, but you can sort of see down there. It lights up there. I was gonna put some in this, but then it takes away a lot of the headroom. So in some of the upgrades I have for this, where I go a little bit higher, we'll do the same thing. But let me get this.
Okay.
Let's see.
Love it.
Yeah, those
nice,
lights
okay.
are awesome. So you can either do my thing, or you can buy them and you can stick them on yourself. But you can
because when you buy them, they come with that little double-sided sticky thing that allows you to put them up. And surprisingly, for how well they stick, it doesn't really leave like a bunch of shit on whatever you're sticking it to.
And
nice.
Now,
yeah, that was great.
Like so this is meant for like images. There's not a lot I can do about it just because of how it has to be. There is some light leakage, like when you got the door shut, like you're gonna see light like around these areas. But that has to kind of be there for this to work. But I think what you were doing, where you've got it so that you can get
right.
Kind of overpowering it here, but like it lets you see what's going on in there. That's something. Like the I mean, I'm like drawing a blank on it. The vamp for Cobra. I forget the figures in there because the doors are
right.
Like, all of my stuff that I make, I like to leave it, like even on the helicopter, like the cockpit's open. Like at some point, I'm looking to get a CO2 laser so I can start doing windows and stuff for you guys, but I still want it to be like transparent enough that you can see them.
Right, 100%. Oh, dude, you saw the little shots that I put out there where we were taking the pictures of looking in. That's huge, man. Those shots are awesome because the cab inside is big enough to where you can get really, it's not like it's not so compact. Like it's roomy in there. So I've been trying to check it out in the comments and keep up with it. Looks like Dagon has gone ahead and said it better than a HasLab. I believe I've said it a handful of times on the podcast. I believe it to be a absolutely viable HasLab alternative. If it was something that you were not interested in the Snowcat, or even if you were interested in the Snowcat, this is what you have to consider heavily, regardless of what it is that you did or didn't get this year. That there's no doubt in my mind. I can't believe that between seeing the colors that of mine in the reveal, and then they'll be able to kind of check this out. I can't imagine that there's not going to be a lot of people that are incredibly interested in getting their hands on one. So, but yeah, that's a quite a lofty compliment. They go, and we definitely appreciate that.
And so,
Ooh, Big Red said good, or if not better. He agrees.
There's a whole soapbox I could get on about like the whole model of HasLab.
For sure.
I love Hasbro. I'm not trying to like cause any like political issues here, but like the concept of that exclusivity and then it trickling down, I don't like. I'd rather it go the other way. I know we've had a conversation about maybe some ideas on how I'm going to implement that.
Right.
And when we get to the Q&A part, maybe we bring that back up because I just want to advise info on that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been a hot topic this year, right? For sure. So, without a doubt. But if people are out looking for something like this, then this is it. It speaks for itself, right? It stands on its own. It doesn't have to be compared to anything for it not to be really, really awesome. I knew it was going to be great, but I could not believe that after 5 days of staring at it, I felt like I was still looking at it for the first day. I think that speaks of all the things, like, I've mentioned 100 things where I'm like, oh, this is what makes whatever, but because there's that many, if I'm mentioning, 13 different things that I'm like, oh my God, this little aspect makes it so awesome, but it's true because there's just so many different ones. When I think of what you're getting out of it, I'm hard pressed to think of, and it's not just the Atlas. I think it's very easy to say that everything that you make has a modular ability that nothing else really does. I was thinking about this the other day because I think I said that like last week or the week before, where I was very staunch and like, yeah, there's definitely nothing that's as modular as that. And I was like, well, have I looked at everything? You know what I mean? Like but at the same time, yeah, I have. I'm obsessed with this shit. This is what I do. And so part of being, saying with my whole chest about how much I love the thing and what value I think it is, and all these other things, is because I see it, I believe it, and yeah. So when I compare, I don't want to say compare because that's not fair to you or anybody else that makes stuff, but at the same time, that's what you're doing when you're looking to spend your money. It's what,
like, absolutely compare myself, because I think that makes better things. Like, I love that 3D printing has kind of opened all this up, because like it's sort of like when music went from analog to digital. Like, now all of a sudden anybody could record anything, right? You didn't have to pay like buckets of money and hope that you got a good track.
To a studio.
So made a lot of crap. Like, there's a lot of stuff you have to dig through, but there's some people I know that have made some fantastic songs that otherwise would not have been able to.
Never have made it. Right.
So like, maybe I'm trucking along here and some other guy comes up and makes something that much better. Now I am forced to get better too. Yeah.
So we're all rising tide raises all boats.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why, when I say, definitely for sure, like like when I have your stuff and Chris's stuff together, it not only is it obvious, but it's just, again, I think it it makes both of your stuff look better. It's just not you looking at each of your stuffs individually, it stands on its own. But you see how it is when you just stick something like that extra in there. You just there's always something like that to be done. But yeah, I've always said it, particularly in love with your stuff and the way that it works in all the ways. The way, and I say it every damn week, the way the shit literally connects together. It's not just like, oh, you get these two things and they look good together. It's no, when you get a bar and an outpost, they connect together. And I don't think you can beat that with a stick when it comes to, when you're spending your money and how do I want it and what can I do? I think that's incredibly awesome. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I kind of so the whole concept with like the bar and like the outpost and like even the kind of like hub I have planned for this to go into is I want it to look like something that they pulled up and they like you ever play Rainbow Six Siege? Like when they're getting ready for like you got like the 2 minutes or whatever before like the outside guys are trying to come inside, like they're like using like pneumatic hammers and like throwing shit up on the walls. Like that's what I want is like it looks like it's just something they like throw in. It's like this automatic fob that just gets made, right? That's kind of the aesthetic I'm looking for there. So them connecting together, I feel like for that to be like believable.
Yes. Sorry, I just had a little disconnect for a second there. So I had my headset. I have two of they're wireless. One of them died, so I ran over to grab the case and I shoved the one in the case so it could charge because I knew the other one was soon to follow. And then it finally just happened, and before I switched it, so I lost you for a second there. But yeah, sorry about that.
Going on about like headcanon stuff on my stuff, nothing that's actually real.
Oh, nice. Oh no, but that's the fun stuff. I mean, Christ, that we did 3.5 hours of what was basically headcanon last weekend. I mean, holy shit. We talked for probably 45 minutes to an hour alone about what we thought, a TV show or a movie would be. You know what I mean? I think that's incredible. But let's see. I mean, did we hit everything? I'm pretty sure
through all of it here.
Nice. Okay. I'm just
now I'm kind of like gentle when I open like this because again, this is more of like production prototype. You got the real one, so this is not as reinforced on mine as it is on yours.
Yes. No, mine is very nice. Like you said in the instructions, you don't want to just whip it up, but at the same time, if you like an adult use it, it's absolutely fine.
And I made all this stuff here too that like things happen, right? This comes cracking off. The whole thing's not shot. There's parts we can replace and absolutely just reach out to me.
Yep. Very good. Very good.
Yeah. When it's on wheels, man, like there's a chance it's going to roll off your table. Right.
Listen, I have had it on the lowest shelf every night. I have not left it on a table yet. Every night I've taken it down. So like I keep it. Well, at first that's what I did. And then I just made a spot on the piece over here. So I was telling you earlier, I could see it when I walked by, but I swear to God, the first couple nights I 100% put it on the little shelf down here at the bottom. That's hysterical. Oh my God. How funny is that?
Like this is probably the heaviest thing I've made. I think it's like 12 pounds when I shipped it, but if you put the tires on it, like this thing's like, it's stable. Going nowhere.
For sure. No, it's the functionality of the wheels too. Like it's a nice smooth roll. So, it's like Jesus, if for some reason it just moves the tiniest bit, it's gonna have that nice roll to it. So, oh my God, that's funny that we had that kind of same thought there. But and so I mean, I think you had some stuff cooking potentially for the, we're just talking about getting this rolled out, but perhaps maybe there's attachments coming and things like that.
I have some stuff to show you.
Oh, great. Again, awesome.
The caveat here is prototypes subject to change, may be completely different, right?
Yep.
So let me move this back. And
which for anybody that didn't catch that means this is his work in progress that he's showing you.
And let me kind of get it set up here on this. I'm going to actually move like the computer screen in front of, like, there's probably some way I can share my screen on this, but I'm not going to get into all that.
No, I haven't figured it out yet either. I'm a terrible host. I really have I can barely get the stream going.
So you've seen these. Now that took my screen away, so let me know if I'm centered up here, okay? So
Okay. Nope, you're looking good.
okay.
Okay, there we go.
All right. So one option there, because I know we got the firefighters that came out, and like people have
Yep.
been like hinting at like the eco warrior thing too. Like,
Yep.
so
Yep.
tank of some sort, rotating extended arm. I want to
So
do
awesome.
replaceable tips on both of these guns here, where flamethrower, water, or I don't know, some toxic acid.
Foam. That
Right.
foam or something, right? The
Right. Yeah.
fire
Like
foam.
there's the want to get into resin printing, so I can do like blast effects and stuff to mimic that, but definitely make it fit with the ones we got. So
Nice.
that's one
Yeah,
option.
love it. Love it.
And
Awesome.
also think hoses and cables everywhere, right?
Right. Hose, and you've heard me say it 1,000 times. I'm a sucker for hoses and cables.
Right. And then the other big one I've already kind of got some stuff for is, and this is the one that made me feel like really paranoid, right? Because like I told you the story, like the day I finished the modeling on the Atlas is when Gridiron released the Phalanx teaser.
Right.
Image.
Right.
And the
Right.
second I
Right.
saw it, I was like, holy shit, I know exactly what that is, damn it. And so
Son of
that
a
came out.
bitch.
And then the day I did this one, they released that AA gun on their thing. And I'm like, who the hell is watching me? But it's awesome, right? Like
Right.
it's gonna be
Right.
different.
I love that, dude. That looks amazing. That
Um,
looks so awesome. I
so again,
remember when you showed me that.
the
I was
idea
more
there,
like,
not only for this one to fit in whatever that hub is, but I want to have this come just completely off so it can be like deployed off the back.
oh, right.
Right.
Right. Or dropped off or something
Yeah.
along those lines. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
some kind of like fold out legs will end up on that there. But those are kind of the
Fuck
two
yeah.
working ones I've got. And then obviously the roll cage idea. And then I also want to do like a comms base and a prison / like interrogation. Like
Yes. Yes.
like,
Yes.
there's those four that are like kind of in the works and coming on that.
Dude, I love those. I remember when we were talking and you showed me those. It was a moment where it was like the everything that you were doing. I had kind of looked at it in one way, and then when you showed me those, because like we hadn't really talked about you making anything like that for the Atlas until you showed me those, and then I was like, oh wait a minute, he's already got a whole other. He's got a world of shit. Like we're talking about these things, and he's just. This is just like right. There's like all this other stuff. So I was like, oh my god. So yeah, I think that again, the modular ability, what that offers you, down the line. So something that I'm thinking about as we're talking about how you were like, that how having the double gun there, have it like deployed, sort of, kind of. Have you thought? I mean, they're like they have the like Hasbro has the like the fortification, right? I mean, is there something that could a small embattlement or just like like a two-fold thing, like one person can get behind something like
almost like a hunt line, but like more military, right?
Right. So actually, earlier when we were talking about it, what came to mind was when we were talking about the with that soft good, with the thing was like Ambush's tent thing, right? Because it was like 4 poles and then just some shit thrown over the top of it. And I was like, man, if you had those poles and some of that soft good stuff, and it's whatever amount of money, and I don't know, it just seemed like maybe that was one of the smaller things. And but if you did something where it was like what was it, maybe like even just like two panels from the bar, right? Where they're just kind of together. Maybe there's like a bigger like corner piece that can just kind of sit, and even if like you can only really get like 2 guys behind it, something that, because there's like when I think about on Twitter, a lot of the guys that like there's not many of us that actually go that have like do a bunch of crazy dial stuff, right? Like some of the best guys have no dial stuff. Like there's Conrad Hauser is a really great poser. He poses his figures really well. And oh my god, Arashikage Z, that guy, they're like wizards with the posing. Now forgive me if I'm not. Cletus of Cobra also is good. I'm forgetting somebody, forgive me, but that they just come to mind, like, and those guys usually never use anything, you know what I mean? And so it's like, and you could tell it's because they're doing it on a dining room table, which means they don't have a room with this shit. Their stuff's probably in totes. And so if there was like a way that you could have something that just slipped in, even if it folded and it opened up, just one fold or something like that with a swivel pin, I feel like if there was a price point that worked for everybody, I think
Right.
something like that might even be, because that's all
Oh,
it needs. Like,
absolutely. Like I'm part of me is tempted to make like a standardized, which I kind of already have the
mm,
standardized base for it, sell that STL file, and just
yeah.
see what people come up with that fits it. It'd
So,
be
and what
super fun for me to see.
100%. And I feel like also what happens, at least for me. So I also bought some STL files from Sys 3D Arsenal. I printed a fuck ton of the gun racks. And my whole thing was I was going to make like just a set of gun racks for all my sub teams. So when I put them up on the shelf, all the extra guns and stuff I can put on each sub team's, right there on a gun rack with all the stuff. So everything is kind of organized, but also displayed, right? And
Right.
and the more I printed, the more I wanted to just buy the real shit.
Well, yeah,
Because
right. There's that too. Yeah.
yeah, but also too, it made so the stuff that I did buy, it made me want to buy the stuff I couldn't print. So like the stuff you'll see in the Cobra Claw launching facility, the whole run of shelving and the whole thing there, I can't print that stuff on mine because mine is too small. It's literally like 3/16 of an inch too small. And when I try to scale it down, again, I'm not the best. I've done it, but it just don't look right. It's
Right.
not.
Right.
That's the thing.
There's a
It's
little bit
not.
more to it, and we'll talk about scaling stuff down here in a second here too.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but the other option too is I was thinking about making just like a giant. I don't even know what the coupler is called, but like it's on the back of a semi truck. That the trailer connects to, whatever that piece is.
Oh, like the little round.
It's like a big like horseshoe looking thing that like that
Yes,
pegs down
yes.
into, right, for like a gooseneck,
Okay.
right?
Yep, yep, yep.
Doing that on here, and then some sort of larger trailer. Like I could do one of those like ICBM missile launchers. You could do like a
Yes,
full-on
yes,
Joe base, that folds out.
yes, yes.
Um,
Well, I mean, because
I
the
might sell
Atlas.
two of them, but like it'd be fun to do. You know,
So think of the first things that comes to mind when you say that is think about Optimus Prime's trailer, how that
yes.
folded down like that,
Mhm.
and you could easily have something. I get, or even if it instead of opening like from the top, it just folds out like how some RVs do. Like there's the whole
Mhm.
half of it folds, something like that where it expands, and now all of a sudden you have all this extra space. That I was, I wanted to try to squeeze in something where I put because I have two of the HMSs for the reveal. I wanted to show it towing, and I just couldn't get the way that I had it set up because obviously you put the two together, it's long, and so the one thing that I had set up, it was just so there's going to be a whole thing of that for sure coming up this week where it's towing the HMS. I think that's going to look
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm
Yeah, yeah.
hoping you guys like this thing because I have a lot of ideas I want to do for it. It's
Right, right. Like, please, yes, I'm begging you guys, please buy this so he can keep coming up with more shit for
and
it.
and
You know,
again, just trying to like make it easier in you guys' pocketbooks as often as I can, like because again, there's only so cheap I can sell it for. It's going to be an expensive one. There's no way around that. But when I start having
100%.
other back ends, I plan on changing the listing up to where you can buy just the blank and then add whatever back end you want. So if you don't want this one,
Perfect.
I'm
Perfect.
not going to make you buy that one and have it sit somewhere, right?
Right, right. Because somebody's like, oh, I don't really care for the troop carrier bed kind of thing. Just put the firefighter fucking thing right on there.
Right. There
You
may
know
be
what I
somebody
mean?
just into firefighters and he wants it, fire truck red and have that stuff on the back. I'm all for that. That'd be fine.
Right, right, right. Yeah, for sure. I think that's great. And then you've got this many ideas already, and you're coming up with these ideas while you're in the middle of keeping up on the orders and doing and working and all this other stuff. So I'm confident that the more ideas are going to come. That is just going to. I want the stuff to sell so you can continue to grow the line, not just for attachments at the Atlas, but more ideas beyond. I can foresee it's like every idea that I think of or something, I always go, oh, he's probably already thought of that and it's already like coming or something. But because when you think of two long term, you're investing in something, it'd be nice to know that you can get parts from you down the road if God forbid something happens.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that. Like as long as I am breathing and I have a 3D printer, um, the shop could be closed. If you have something break, let me know. Get in touch with me somehow,
Right.
and we'll get a replacement part. Right? Like,
Great.
I
Great.
totally
Great.
want to back this up. Right?
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so even and when I dropped the bar down the stairs, you immediately offered to send me all new shit. And I was like, nope, because I was just so happy to that it wasn't broke or wasn't whatever. But I'm more than confident that if I was like, oh yeah, just send me the whatever, it was fine. I put a little glue on the one piece, and then like I said, the
Yeah.
gun didn't break,
Now,
so
now I
it was
might
all,
try to walk you through repair over
oh
like
for sure. Oh yeah,
yeah, like
absolutely.
I
As
sent
would any
one
appliance company.
Shadowhawks to Canada, right? So I got a
Okay.
Canadian. There's only one in Canada right now, and I know the guy's got it. And
Oh,
like
nice.
when those go out of the country, I know now that they need to be 2 parts, and then they have to assemble that last part because it's just too rare.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Yeah.
but
International
so
travel.
I got him on Zoom, and we worked through it, and good.
Nice. Oh, good. Oh, nice. Nice. There you go. I was gonna say Zoom is perfect, right? So you can be like, oh
Actually,
no, not the.
Zoom. He's actually in the UK. That's how I figured out. Like none of these helicopters were making it overseas, like or I'm not overseas,
Right.
but outside the border without something going on. There's something that happens in customs to them. So now they come in 2
Right.
pieces when you go out there. Inside,
Nice.
so far we've been fine.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. It's a huge part of the deal. I think when you're investing, and again, not to kind of like, I always pride myself on having a podcast where I try to stray from the negativity, right? But not everybody likes everything, so you're going to have to say some things sometimes. And it's like if you hear the customer service issues that some people have with Pulse and things like that, it can be frustrating for somebody. I mean, how many posts did you see where people were, now granted, people can just be people too, right? But at the same time, there's a lot of people who are like, my I backed the Rattler within an hour, and I've seen all these people get theirs. Now that's obviously logistics, and again, people
Right.
can be people, but at the same time, my point of that is that they all kind of have this common thread of like, I can't get anybody on the fucking phone to tell me anything. Now, with that being said, I had to call Pulse once. There was an issue with the payment on the Snowcat. My bank declined the second one because I got one for my cousin, and for whatever reason, when they ran the thing, they declined the second one. They thought it was fraud. So I had to call them, and they like walked me through it, and it was all just the same thing. So yeah, my cousin got one for his son. His son plays with all his 3 3/4 stuff, and when he found out that there was a Snowcat, apparently that's his favorite, and he was like, I insist on getting it for him, and I was like, okay. So yeah, I did him. My cousin has done a lot of things for me, so he was like, oh, I can't really get it right now, and I was like, all right, if you give me the money by Christmas, and he was like, yes, and I was like, all right, that's fine, I'll get it for you. But then I had to spend time on the phone trying to figure it out because the person from Hasbro, they had to walk me through a thing on the phone. It's just, but anyway, it's little things like with the modular fortification coming on and off. But anyway, so you can deal with that, when you're making an investment, when you say, God forbid you break a piece on the Snowcat, what are the chances that you're going to get something from Hasbro that fixes that, right? You may be able to go on eBay and spend a bunch of money. Now, nobody's going to not buy HasLab for these reasons, right? People are going to buy it no matter. If you've made up your mind that you want it, you're going to get it, and that's all there is to it. I'm hoping to basically just sell mine. I think what's going to wind up happening is I like it. I think it's cool. I was kind of for whatever reason it was like a shiny thing when I saw the bivouac at first, and then I kind of sort of fell in love with it a little bit. I looked cool when they showed me the snow pictures, and then even afterwards I was just kind of like, yeah, but I don't know. So most likely there's going to be somebody out there. It'll be my way to get back to the Joe community to give it to somebody at cost. So that's what's going to happen there. Yeah, well, that was the thing. I actually had that thought initially when I at first was like, because before they announced the tiers, I was like, yeah, no, it's not. It looks really cool, but I don't want to spend that on that. And then I just kind of got that idea. I was like, well, maybe I'll get one for, and then I can, sell it to somebody at cost. And then my cousin was like, will you get me one? And I said, sure. And then I was like, all right, well, if I'm going to get you one, I'll get the other one that I can, sell to somebody at cost for as like maybe I'll have like a follower count that's, like a milestone or something like that. And then I can do that to celebrate, which by the way, I went over 300 followers on Twitter today. So I might, thank you. I might do something for that. What happened was I actually bought a 3 3/4 scrap iron, and came with the missile launcher and the little hose, and but it didn't have his gun, and I kind of didn't care, so I bought it anyway, and it was like a very good price. And then Pop Cult Frenzy put something up. It was the same exact thing, including the whatchamacallit, including the pistol for only $20. So somebody is going to be the lucky winner of that scrap iron that is interested. Yeah, I'm going to have some kind of a thing for that. So, speaking of 1/18 scale.
Yep, I'm going to say go with that. So the Raptor, like I said, was the first design I did.
Yep. That's so cool. I love the way that thing looks.
We talked about how like thousands of ideas, thousands of projects, you got to draw a line somewhere, right?
Sure,
so I always made a mental deal with myself that I wasn't going to delve into the 1/18 scale until somebody asked, and somebody finally messaged me and asked. So we've got this guy here. We're going to just kind of go the other way. I got him up on his little stand here. Make sure we see that. That's a little tiny screen.
It still does it. The scale still does it.
Like he put up one of those. I've never gotten one of these, and I'm going to take this off here so you can get that. But it's the little the Joy Toy figures, like little armory builders, and they're cool. Like, now there's some modifications I'm gonna have to do. Like I had to take his backpack off to make him fit in there, but like the regular Joe's fit in there, no problem.
Right. All right. Okay.
So this is almost awesome. Ready. Like you said earlier, it's not just shrinking it. There's some things you got to do.
Oh God! Oh my God!
Things I've got to do to this still. So this is like prototype 1, but it's like 90% there.
Yeah, there's no shrink button. You have to do a bunch of shit.
I had to kind of do some math, and if you're wondering, it's 0.6667% reduction from 1/12 scale to get to 1/18 scale.
No shit. Okay, I love it.
So, let me put him in here. I know this is a little bit. And one of your questions you always ask, guy, you want to see in classified? I want to see a Cobra interrogator.
Nice.
But they fit no problem. These guys. It's the new fancier ones like these guys here that have like the gear and stuff on it. Like there's a backpack on there. I don't know if you're supposed to take off it. I took it off, but I'll make some sort of accommodation for that. But
right.
It's going to work. It's weird. Like when I shrank it too, like the detail on the minigun, like it just got too small. They just like fell off. So I've got to rework the guns a little bit.
Nice.
It's like 98% there. So this will be up really quick.
God, it almost looks like if you went just a little smaller, it would be a cool drone for 1/12.
I was just about to tell you, like when I was sitting out here playing with it, like on the stand, you can put it in the back. I was like, now I got to do a drone.
Oh, no shit. Yes. There it is. Give it to us.
It sits in there, right? Like, it goes in, and we'll just put this down. Right, but it does. Like, I feel like there needs to be something that can launch out of the back of this now.
Right. Oh man, Jesus, that's so fucking cool.
Another project.
Well, I mean, dude, something like that. What I was looking at, if you saw in the reveal video, I had a Cobra Claw that was right there. I definitely felt like there's a world to do a Cobra Claw launching pad off the back of one of those. I also had 2 Trouble Bubbles fit in the back really well. There is definitely a world where you have just like that thing is literally just something for a Cobra Claw or 2 to kind of fall in place to. God, that looks so.
It works better, but you can close it.
Yeah, that looks really cool, man. Holy shit! And just a nice big ass drone right there, just taking off. I can hear it right now. That as it gets ready to go.
Probably adjust something this size, like move this back. You could probably put a guy in it.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know. We'll play with it. Now I got thanks.
Yeah. Here we go. This is funny. We got people up at 11 o'clock on a school night so we can play with the toys for over the phone. I love it. I love it. I love it. Man, that is fantastic. Um, I love that you got into somebody did ask. I mean, it was inevitable, and then at least you once you get it out of the way, like the kind of the scaling down and everything. Not that it's not complicated because every time
The next one
somebody
will
asks for
be
something
yeah.
different, right, right, you get a little something there. But then too, I feel like just by immediately looking at that now, it's like, oh wait, but then a drone would look cool, and so I feel like just any kind of thing like that opens the door to more things and shit like that. So yeah, man, that's crazy. It's just like your logo, where basically it's just a bunch of gears grinding in the head, and like that's all it is. You're just constantly coming up with new ideas and shit to do. I mean, that's how it works, right? If you're not thinking about the ideas, it's not like you just, oh, it's the third week of the month. It looks like it's idea time. Let me
Right.
crank out this idea. You gotta write down what it is. Like so, I've published writer. It was a long time ago. I don't spend too much time writing anymore, but I used to really like doing it. And I used to carry around like a notepad and a pen because, if you have like this one idea, this one thing to write down, by the time I finish writing that down, I know what's next. And then I would just, so it's like, if it's like having the idea, if you have to like put that aside, it totally will like derail the idea, and so being able to engage in that idea in the moment is where it's at. So, and now here
And I
you are.
know you're the same way because I've seen you do it. But yes, there's 1,000 ideas come in every day, but every now and then there's that one that if you don't scratch that,
Yes.
like you can't do
Yes.
anything else.
It's really overwhelming, to say the least. Yes, you said it perfectly. That's exactly what it's like, and like even sometimes it's just this crazy shot. And there's been times where like I don't remember which one it was, but like I think it might have been originally. So the jungle shot, the thing I did for the Merc, that it was Saturday. I did a bunch of shit, and then all day Sunday I spent putting the trimmings up and then setting up the figures. There's a lot of figures in that shoot. So I remember setting up all the figures. By the time I just got the figures set up, it was like this late. It was like 10, 11 o'clock. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm taking these pictures. I know that I'm tired. Now, I knew the finished shots weren't going to be able to come until the next day. But at that point, I was like, I'm just taking a couple pictures to do something with. But yeah, because that itch is so prevalent that you're like, I literally can't deal with whatever it is that I have in front of me. Like, I'm not going to lie. I don't want to say my work has suffered. That's not true. But I've just noticed that there's a lot of times where I should be focusing on something,
Right.
and I'm literally thinking of content for the podcast. How am I going to shoot this? I mean, really, honestly, right now it's the Atlas. There's because so I come down here when I'm getting ready for work. There's the studios over here, but there's shit on the other side, and all it takes is for me to just, like I said, I like to look over and I see it, and I'm like, all right, hold on a minute. And next thing you know, I'm over here, and I'm looking at it. I'm turning it around, and I'm grabbing like two figures and standing them right next to it. And I'm like, yeah, man, that looks about right. And then I start feeling myself fall into the idea. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh fuck, I got to get the kids to school. And I'm running upstairs, and now I'm yelling at the kids. I'm like, are you ready yet? What are we doing? We're going to be late. And it's
So
like,
why are
and
you taking so long, right? Like,
they legitimately, oh yeah, no, my kids are old enough. They're like, oh, you're down there playing with your toys. What are you talking about? Hey, where are we ready? We've been ready. No, so when I first got into it, they definitely were like interested. I got them a tumbler when they were like $25. I got them a tumbler and like a Scarlet and a Baroness and a Lady J. They wanted all the ladies, which is fine. I got them all the ladies, and then I let them play with some of mine, and they would set things up and they would play. I loved it. And then they kind of like, the initial was, they stopped coming down. Because like if I was like setting up a shot, I'd be like, okay, well, here's the ones I'm using, but you girls, if you want to, do something over here, and then they would take a couple figures and set it up, and then they stopped doing that for a little while, and then recently, and this, if anything warms my heart, my one daughter came down and saw the alley vipers that I have sitting here in this one bag, and they were like, she was like, wait a minute, and I was like, oh, well, that one, that one's not even the package. Look at how cool it looks on it in the fucking package. And then I showed her, I've got one up there the only thing I've ever customized, I got one up there. I just whatever. And she was like, okay, I want one of these. I was like, you want an Alley Viper? And she was like, it's the coolest one you have. And I was like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. And then I pulled out Shockwave and I was like, what do you think about this one? And she was like, that's okay. And I was like, no, I wanted you to love Shockwave too.
You want to hear the answer, right?
Right, 100%. And I did because it was right there too. I had to know. I pulled out Beachhead and she was like, no, that one's kind of cool. And I was like, yes, that's awesome. And then I was like, well, how come this one's cool and Shockwave's not? They're basically the same thing. It's just like a different, slightly different color. No. But it's great. So when I was actually setting up yesterday, doing stuff over there, like when I first showed you, I was putting the stickers on and everything. They were over here, and that's why it's such a mess. They decided they wanted to do their own shoot. They made a list of what figures were going to go where. They literally drew like where the figures were going to stand. And when I came over, they had pulled a bunch of them out. And at first I was like, all right, hold on. I can't have you fucking with my shit in case I have to find something, right? I'm in the middle of trying to get this done over here. God forbid I have this idea that I want to use this one guy that's going to complete the shot and I can't find it because you girls are. So they were like, oh, and I was like, I promise tomorrow. I was like, today, because dude, literally today, I won't bore you with the details of what I was doing for work all day, but yeah. So the metaphor for me the last 2 weeks, but especially today was if you've ever seen somebody driving a car and they like rip it, pull it sideways and it parallel parks in between two cars sideways, like on the drift. That was what my day was like today. That is a perfect metaphor for it. So yeah, when they were down here and I was like, listen, I've just got I got to take like 15 shots and then I got to go upstairs and make it work. And thankfully, when I was editing that video, I was able to get that hard cut because there's like when it's just the lady singing, it's all the clean shots where it's all the white background and everything. And then when the music actually kicks in is when it starts showing all the pictures of the figures and stuff. And thankfully, I didn't have to fuck with it, but for more than, I don't know, literally a couple minutes. And then I was like, all right, I think that's it. And I hit it and it boop and it went through and I was like, hell yeah. Yeah, look at that. I love how that dude, it's one of the defining things, right? I know the way that opens up. Oh, and I feel like I don't know if I met either of us said it, that steering wheel. So not only does it come all the way out, it has room for adjustment as it sits in its little slot. So you can take it out completely to do two things. One, it allows you to get the figure into the seat better, but then it allows you to put it into the figure's hands and then adjust both figures' arms like this and put the steering wheel in to the proper depth that you need to make the picture look right? And it's not like not all ridiculous. So yeah. That's awesome, brother. I love it. And there's that little kind of like a small, I don't want to call it a drawer, but like that little like a pocket where I put a bunch of different pistols in it. So like you can have a sidearm right there. Yeah. Really, really sweet.
Yeah, on the doors originally, this kind of space down here, I was trying to do like some hooks to come out for like a weapon storage there, but it had to come out so far. It was just going to be that was going to be the part that broke first, right? On everything.
Okay. Yep.
Moved into the back here, but yeah, this pocket in here, I feel like you can do a lot in that.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I wanted to remark, the Outpost has something very similar inside, right next on each side of that Ma Deuce, right? It's got it's a little bit deeper, but it's the same like style, the same idea, and I think that's awesome. So like whoever's running that Ma Deuce, if that thing overheats or they run out of bullets, they could just reach right over and grab. Boop, there it is. Fuck yeah. God, I love that thing, dude. Those backpack holders are awesome. So it looks the both uses of it that I maybe have it somewhere else too, but I know that in the Outpost it looks crazy cool because you figure it almost looks like, because the Outpost is not that it's small, but if you put the figures in there with their backpacks on, then you can't fit as many. So if you put a couple of the backpacks up, not only does it look cool, you can kind of squeeze some people in to make it look like less crammed, and then in the back of the the canopy for the Atlas, it's perfectly made in wearing, as I was saying, that the Night Force Shockwave backpack, which is the same as the Firefly backpack with the drone in it, fits, right? So if you put it, I don't even think it was on the lowest peg. So if it's orientated where it would be like sitting upright with the low, I don't even think it was on the lower peg. I think it was on the higher rung. And that backpack with the drone in it fit. And as far as I was concerned, with the exception of Dial Tone's monstrosity, I think that I don't know if there's any other backpacks that like wouldn't fit. I think I'm sure there is. There's probably got to be one, but it's the one that I thought of that I was like, yeah, that wouldn't fit. But everything else I think is good. So yeah, man, that's really awesome. That's why I love that one shot where I've got the Fang Busters backpack. So you've got the wolf spiders all the way over on one side, fits totally fine, looks great. And then on the other side, I had Beachhead's Night Force one, and then Shockwave's Night Force one. Which, by the way, I got to pull out Night Force Beachhead for the first time with the Atlas because I'm such a fan of the original. Right? It was almost like the Night Force one. I was like, I don't even want to know it exists. Right? I don't want to acknowledge it. But I got to crack that one out, and now I'm in love with it. I'm definitely going to wind up using both figures. But yeah, this is fantastic. So.
So yeah, the hub I keep talking about, that the back pieces that come off where you can switch them out. You'll definitely be able to do that where you can pop that out.
Oh, okay. So if you for like different utility things that'll pop on there, or
No,
you're just saying.
I just saw a comment in there where he was talking about taking the canopy and making it stand up, and you could kind of turn it into a bunker with those things hanging there. Like that's absolutely going to happen. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yes, he mentioned that earlier for sure. Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, speaking of which, if you guys got some questions, let's fire out them questions and we'll do what we can to answer them. And then my old man ass is going to have to go to bed. I have to get up at 3. I got
if there's
right, 3:30
things I got cooking, but yeah.
Oh no, listen, I'll tell you the same thing I told CG and I told Conrad. You know, you guys, we will definitely be doing this all the time. I am honored to be some form of a sounding board for you to let everybody know what you got cooking. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. We will be doing this. We'll probably wind up, if we could wind up, doing something periodically, right? Just to keep everybody updated. And I feel like that way, if you had prints or anything like, oh, hey, look at what I'm fucking with, and you can actually show the people kind of like how we're doing now. And then, hey, I love it. I get to see the stuff. Everybody else gets to see what you got. And I feel like, especially with things for the Atlas, people getting to see them ahead of time, really, even though it's a work in progress, you could still be like, and we could put it on the internet. This is just, that YouTube has a different reach. What I really need to do is I need to hunker down on my YouTube channel. And so I have an insane amount of content that I post on the Destro Designs. That's all supposed to be on Viper Den Studios. So you can see just that. But then all of that stuff has to get posted on YouTube as well. This way we can drive it all there. And I really got to start doing the Instagram and I do the Facebook, but it's under like my personal one. I just have a Destro Designs logo. I've got to figure out a way to get it. I had all kinds of problems with the Facebook Destro Designs for some reason. When I would post anything with any music whatsoever, even if it's from the app that I bought, everything I had got flagged. They took like every video I put up down, and then it was something crazy where like every time I tried to load a picture or a video, it would take literally 3 days for it to post. Like, I'm not kidding. It would be like post pending, and I'd be like, oh, all right, maybe it's a signal. And then I go to every other thing on my phone and we're perfectly fine. And it was like, I don't know if it was going through a review or what it was. But long story short, the Instagram works fine. I just haven't gotten around to actually doing that yet. Plus, there's like a whole world of people that follow me over there that have no idea I'm doing this, and it's going to be a bit of a culture shock. So I got to find a way to. Yes, right, they're like, what the fuck is this? It's, hey, listen, they're all toys to me as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? Whether it's the GI Joes or all the shit that I have out in the shop. There's all actually. So my wife actually finally did say something today. She didn't say anything about like what I'm spending. She was like I understand you took over the shop. It's for the business and everything like that. But she's like now you have, because I have a room upstairs too that's got like all my work clothes and work stuff in it that doesn't belong in the shop. And then now I'm encompassing this whole area over here in the basement. And she's like, what about me? And it was, legitimate legitimate thing. And I was like, I'll build you whatever you want. I was like, we'll find a place and it'll be yours to do whatever you want with. But yeah, there was finally, I said it in the podcast the other night where I was like, yeah, I told the story where we were at Walmart buying the kids' bikes, and I saw the display, and it didn't hit me at first, but when it finally did, I was like, oh shit! I was like, oh, she's gonna see the prices in these things. She's gonna see that the thing I have in my hand, the Beachhead Quick Kick Night Force 2-pack is fucking whatever the hell it was, $50 or something. And she's sitting there and thinking of, doing the math in her head, but no, thankfully we skated out. I think it was more just, it's not about that, the money, because that's not a problem, but it's more the, you're taking over all the space in the house and the property. You're everywhere. Like everywhere I go, your shit is right there. And she's not wrong. But anyways, we don't need to talk about the soap opera that is my life, but yeah. So what do we got? Any questions? Let's see, couple here.
I was like, how do I buy? It will be up this week and sooner rather than later. Like I said, the listing is all set there. I have like brief good news, won't go into it too far, but my LLC did clear today.
Sweet. Oh, fuck yeah. Wow. What a day for it. This is the day of days, bro.
Now. And then that tax number is all I'm waiting on. And we can really kind of clear stuff up. But I am going to go ahead and launch this. I've got the backlog cleared up enough that it should be fine.
That's great. So if you're listening, basically what he's saying is that he's making sure that all his ducks are in a row before he takes your money. That's what is really, really awesome. But also you're printing out some common pieces, I think you had said, just to kind of get a leg up on things you'll be able to do. So, and that's all,
make sure we got that going, and thank you for congratulating me. But truly this whole experience has been very humbling. This was something I was just kind of doing on the side while doing another job, and kept picking up steam, and I wouldn't be doing this without like you kind of guys, right? Like somebody has to like what I'm making, right.
It's true.
Awesome.
It's true. Great. Yeah, no, it's a mutually beneficial situation. Like I don't think I don't believe in coincidences really. And there was legitimately a door or a key that unlocked the door when I was looking on Etsy, and I saw, because the first thing I saw was the green outpost, and I saw that and I went, what the fuck is that? And I remember I was at work and I was busy, so I just saved it. And then I went about my day, but I saw it in such passing that I think I forgot about it for a couple days. And then I actually sent Matt a message saying, hey man, I was looking at your shit and I think it's amazing. I would love to like promote it in some kind of way. And we went back and forth. And actually, you missed the message for a while, right?
Yeah,
and
it's almost serendipitous because like the message just went straight to spam, like whatever that was arranged. And I just happened. I was like, oh, there's a spam folder on this. That's weird. There's stuff that's weird.
Right.
So I read it, right? Like you were like below like 6 other people trying to get my account information, right?
That's crazy. That's crazy. And again, I remember it being very much like, very lock and step, and then just, so there's a leap of faith there where I'm like, hey, I think maybe, it might be able to point people in your direction. And he was like, sure. And we worked something out, and really as they say, the rest is history. But it's been, a really fulfilling part of everything that I do online, right? So it's great. Like I love going through, reposting other people's shit, talking shit about how great everybody's stuff is and pumping everybody else up. And that's great. I love all that. Like that in itself over the course of a day, like when I'm at work and I stop for a few minutes and I go look at everybody, it's become a part of my life. And I think that alone is great. But the real fulfillment is, making that connection or being some part of a conduit for an amazing product from an amazing dude to what is in essence a bunch of really good people that we found on the internet. The internet is a toxic place, but we somehow have this nice little spot where we don't have to deal with that. Now, who knows? I mean, I don't, if I could become more popular, more people watch, the more people that watch, the more chance you have of there's somebody just like that's an asshole. But that's life. It's going to be what it is. I think that we have such a good core group that's what we're attracting is these kind of things. So it's all very much works together, but it's very fulfilling to be able to take your hard work and package it in a way that is worthy of what the product is, right? Like when I say it's my pleasure and I'm like humbled to present to you the Atlas, like that's the truth. And so I look at it as kind of how you look at wanting to earn the shelf space on people's things. Like I want to be able to do for you what your product, it sells itself when you look at it, but I just want to be able to make sure that it's getting looked at in a proper way that gets people's attention. Because sometimes, on the internet, to keep people's attention, no matter what they see, it's just, again, it sells itself for sure. Like that's not me. All I'm doing is I'm making a thing that's just getting people to kind of turn and look at it. And then that's it. You know what I mean? That's all it is. And I love the stuff. Like I absolutely love the stuff. I've said numerous times how much I love the Atlas, how much I love just looking at it photogenic, the pictures. It's all so great. But it as a whole has been a super fulfilling 9 months, and a large part of that is being able to represent your stuff and let the people know where it's at. So yeah, it's really been awesome for sure. There's no question there. And everybody
I think we're kind of dwindling here. I think people want to go to bed.
Yeah, that's it. It's a wrap. That's it, folks. So we still got.
And I appreciate everybody's time that's still here. And those of you that come again and get the rest of it later, thank you for that too. And thanks for the orders and thanks for the interest and thanks for having me on here. And just in general, I'm very humbled and I appreciate it.
Awesome. Sounds good. And Matt, thank you so much again for taking the time to come on. We do really appreciate that. We'll see everybody in these Twitter streets tomorrow. And Matt, I'll hit you up. Sounds good.
Sounds good, man. Have a good night.
All right. Have a good night. Bye.